Hello, everybody. Welcome back to WOR PC Tier 1 for another round of the PC Tier Championship. And we're back again. Chris, we've got no Dan today, unfortunately. Dan's off moving himself back into uni. So I've butchered up the start because I never take the start of the stream. I never know what to say. So I said the same thing twice. But yeah, so no Dan today, unfortunately. But you got me and Chris accompanied alongside you all tonight for what should be some, yet again, very great action. We've got a very strong grid, as usual, as per. Very strong grid with lots of different drivers. We've got some, I think we've got a couple making their first appearances as well. So it's been nice to see what they can do. I think there's 3 drivers making their first appearances tonight. But apart from that, I think we got a very good rate. And the fact is, it's Brazil, and Brazil it's a mega track, isn't it?
Yeah, Brazil is one of these circuits that one, you lap it about 300 times because the lap time is so very short, but equally it always provides some amazing action. And we are talking about the very best in the business here in WORT1. Yeah, cannot wait. And the championship results are, well, I mean, looking at the list of names, it's always difficult to pick a clear favorite, isn't it? From the tier 1 list in particular. The safe bet always goes with Jarno, but Jarno is actually yet to stand on the top step of the podium.
He is, yeah.
That's something else to bear in mind.
Well, last time out, we'll have a look at the results first. Last time out in Mexico, it wasn't the best race for Jarno at all. Qualified outside the top 10 and only finished in 9th. He did move to 7th at one point, but then penalties got removed for a couple of drives. It moved him down to P9. So Mercedes themselves didn't have the best round back in Mexico. It was Jake in 8th and Jarno in 9th. But looking at the top, it was Otis Lawrence to take 2 wins in 2 races to finish ahead of Shanaka Clay and Nicolas Longe, who did have that podium. He got removed. He got the podium removed due to a penalty, but that penalty did get removed, so he got the podium back. And then it was Alvaro Carreton in 4th. Luke Smith, who was fighting for the top 2 with Otis Lawrence, but had a bit of contact down at turn 1 on the final lap. He dropped down to P5 ahead of Jack West. Kai Pearson, who also got his penalty removed, he now is in the top 10 ahead of Jake, Jarno, and Thomas Ronhard. Then we look at the driver standings and we can see still Ishmael Fassi on top. Obviously, Jarno Uppbeat didn't get many points that last one, so it did give Ishmael Fassi still a little bit of a buffer to Jarno in 2nd. But Otis Lawrence sitting in 3rd, made his first appearance back in, I think it's round 4. He now sits in 3rd, just 4 points back from Jarno, then 3 points back from him is Nicolas Longe in 4th. Then Dylan Warren, he's in 5th on 42. I believe he's still got issues with his pedals, so he won't be racing with us he won't be racing with us anytime soon. We've got Josie Floke as well in 6th. I don't think he's racing with us anymore in this season either. Then we have Duncan Hoffland on 36 points as well with Joseph. Then we have Max Wiesel in 8th on 25. Shanaka Clay in 9th on 21 after that podium. And then Alvaro Carreton rounding at the top 10 on 20 points. So still, the championship, Chris, is a lot to play for.
Yes, there is. Absolutely so. Yeah, Jarno Uppbeat dropping the ball a little bit, but even the greats make mistakes. I mean, no disrespect to any of these drivers, because, I mean, there was no way I could get anywhere near the times that these guys can do, but then none of us mere mortals can get anywhere near what these guys can do. Let's be quite frank about it.
Indeed,
so yeah, we have got a few less familiar names in tonight's lineup. I'm seeing several drivers looking to do the inter-run, as is customary in Tier 1 in 3-phase qualifying. One of the Red Bulls has broken cover. It's either Shanaka Clay or Daniel Kjodsen. Not sure which one it is that has decided to break cover. It's Daniel Kjodsen that has decided to come out quite early in the session. It being Brazil, so it's either burning hot or absolutely flooded with no one really, well, I say no one flooding out. If everybody was coming out once, I would expect there to be wet weather. But again, that's not the early indications. 4 cars coming out. Rim Pedreño is next. Luke Smith has parked it already, which is fine. Not everybody was. There were a few that were opting to start towards the tail end of the field. Luke Smith has parked the Alpine, so he didn't come out and bin it straight away. So that is safe to say that was intended. In one of the Ferraris, Reese Linton is out on the circuit. A lesser-known name in this particular field, but still. Getting anywhere close to Tier 1 is a major achievement, so look forward to seeing how he can do in this group.
Yeah, well, Reese Linton had a bit of an unfortunate race back in Mexico. Remember, he took pole position last time, and then the race started. He dropped a couple of positions on the start, then he just dropped further and further. Then at one point, I thought he had some damage because he lost, I think, within the first laps, about 10 positions he dropped. Obviously, as you could see, outside of the points, which is a big shame indeed for Reese. But obviously, he's back here again today. Yet again, this qualifying session at Brazil is always quite close. It's one of the closest on the F1 calendar, so hopefully for him, if he can get his cards right again, he can try and get himself near the top of the grid, or at least get himself through in towards Q3. We've got a few drivers there, beginning there, intermediate tyre runs. We've got Daniel heading down towards the Desida de Laga. We've got Reese Linton, Kai Pearson, and Philip Prejead also on laps. And a reminder of who is going to be starting from the back. It'll be the three Alpines, being Luke Smith, Patrick Sebos and Ruben Progenio. Thomas Ronhar was originally not going to qualify. Now we thought, actually, we will. So we've heard that Thomas will be now qualifying. So there'll be 2 spots for people to drop out of Q1. So, yet again, the pressure isn't as on as it normally is here in Q1, especially for some of the faster drivers who can comfortably get through. But some of those who are normally down the tail end of the field, it's a little bit worse for them, because when there's 5 going out, it's not as bad. But when you're one of 2 going out, it makes you look even worse.
That is certainly one way to look at it. Sometimes you just get caught up in an instant. There are times when you're on your hot lap and someone else's incident ahead of you scuppers your lap timer. And how many times have we said this, Richie, where the whole field is separated by mere pixel distance, and especially on a lap so short, you don't have time anywhere in the lap to make up for a mistake, to make up for being caught in an instant. So that does apply an element of pressure, even though there's less knockout positions still available. We're starting to see some of the inter times coming in. Of course, we're not going to pay an awful lot of attention to them. Daniel Kjolson with a 1:10.9 on the board, along with the aforementioned Reese Linton. So hopefully he'll have a bit more race pace on him than we saw last time out. See, Mexico will always have a kind of a bit of a bittersweet moment for me, because you were there, kind of, Mr. Ritchie, with my very first and probably only ever race night in this game.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I knew I'd be last in lap. That much I absolutely knew. But this was interesting, and I race in VR as well, which I'll add. So not that isn't any kind of excuse, because that is, of course, my own fault. But this was the scene of my very first race in F1 23.
Well, I finished top 8 in that race. I'm always happy with that. I got points on my first race. Obviously, it was back in the PSGL League, and obviously we had Silverstone as well. I got second there. So it was, my race was a little bit better, but still nowhere near anything of these guys ahead. If we had a 5-lapper race and I started first, I'd probably still finish last and probably be lapped by at least a couple, because I'm not very good at this game at all. I'm at least 3 or 4 seconds slower than all the good guys, and that is people who aren't even at the top. So
you say that, Richie. I mean, it goes to show that how bad I did. I jumped out of someone's way without there being a blue flag.
Well, you too used to being lapped, Chris.
I was, yes. It was just safer for me to do that. Anyway, we do have someone out there on soft tyres. Ruben Pedreño, I believe, has gone out there on the red mark tyres. He has indeed. He's just coming through Junshao and flirting with the grass somewhat on the exit. I did a fair amount of lawn mowing out there on my one and only racing escapades.
Nope.
What is he doing?
I think he's trying to invalidate the lap or disqualify himself. I think that's his aim, to disqualify, because obviously he's going to be one of the ones who isn't going to be starting the race. So, yes, we'll let him get on to do what he needs to do. We'll look at Thomas Ronhar now, who's just coming through in towards the final few corners, just coming through Sayana, heading up towards the hill. A long left-hand up.
That's my kind of lap time, 18. And that involved Ruben sitting parked on the start-finish line for several seconds. That's the kind of lap time I would aim for.
Let's have a look. Thomas, look quick, so I just need to sort out the game audio. 1 second.
Okie dokie. Thomas Ronhar gets the top of the time with a 1:10.907. That's, again, intermediate tyres. And, again, we've got some very close times, even on these fairly non-counted tyres. Who else is there? Well, no one else is actually out there. Oh, I beg your pardon, one of the alphas. Thomas Ronhar, who's just done his time. So everybody else back in pit at the moment. Now that everybody has done their exploratory laps, making sure all the necessary bits work, whether there's any pedal or wheel or button failures, now alleviated. We will hopefully fairly soon get the qualifying session underway. good and properly, so to speak.
Indeed, but just let us know in the chat, everyone, if the order's a bit better. I did turn it up quite considerably, so just let us know if it's got back up to what it should be. I turned it down earlier because I was playing the game and I always have it on really loud, so I turned it down. I think I just turned it down a little bit too much, so it should be back to what it should be now. And we're now having a bit of a drift show coming through to John say. That's a massive drift coming through all the way through.
Superb effort. I mean, those tyres must be hot enough to cook off of now.
Yeah, they'll be very hot, won't they? Inters are normally quite slow, but those ones are, yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, they're worn down to slicks now, probably.
They're slow, but they're thing is they get quicker, don't they? Once they become slick tires, they're they're a little bit.
Yeah, but then they just explode after about 5 laps.
Good point. They're definitely not the tires I would choose to take on a dry track, that's for sure.
No. So Pedreño is carrying on lapping, but he's invalidating his lap each time. So again, to ensure that he will be one of the ones that will not proceed through to Quali 2. So he is one of the drivers that has to sit out, or he's at least starting towards the back, whatever antic he's up to. Out of curiosity, I was going to say, out of curiosity, is he going to set this lap? No, he doesn't. He did 4 laps apparently on these soft tyres. I think he's fairly comfortable that everything is working. We're now starting to see some cars coming out on track.
Indeed, yeah. Obviously, Ruben isn't qualified, so hence why he obviously just wanted to get a lap on the board that wouldn't get him through to Q2. He also just wanted to make sure everything's working, give it a bit of a test, and also if he's not had that much practice, it can also help him practice the track a little bit. We know some drivers go into this without practice. Some of them do a lot, some of them do nothing at all. The order should be better now, so hopefully it's back up to what it should be. But we've got a few drivers now on circuit on the soft tyres. We've got Duncan Hoffland, Chana Kinchi, Bertram Akonyi, along with Thomas and Daniels are ready to set their first laps of the Q1 session. Remember, it's not as intense as it normally would be in Q1 because normally there's 5 cars going out here tonight. There'll only be 2 going out because of the 3 Alpines not making it through, which is the 2 Alpha Tauris today, and obviously Luke Smith, who's already retired the car. As you can see, it's going to go aboard Bertram Akonyi in the Haas. Obviously, he made the team, the Haas team this year for the Pro Series. He's a very quick driver. I don't see too much anyway, apart from over here in WOR. So it's not to see him racing again. It's not to see him, back on our screens. I believe he also races over in the Ironman League, which is obviously streamed on this channel. So I don't keep up to date with that too much, but I know he's also very good in those longer stinted races. So we'll see how we can do here tonight. Obviously, we've got the 2 Mercedes out on track as well, Jarno Otmir and Jake Benham. Obviously, Jarno Otmir, the flying Dutchman, back in Mexico wasn't really what he normally is. Was not a good race at all for Jarno, unfortunately. Still got points, but it could have definitely been a lot more. And I think if he was to at least get second or first, he would have been on par, if not more, on more points than Mishmal Fatis. It was a big opportunity and miss there for Jarno back out in Mexico, but Ismail Fassi back tonight, and we'll see what he can do. Obviously, he's in P17 at the moment, needs to get himself a lap on the board. He's also a driver who can get through to Q3. He's also a driver that can get himself onto the top spot very easily. He's very good at qualifying, but around a track like this, with how close it is, with how short the track is and how little corners there are, it's very easy for drivers, it's very easy for everyone to be within a tenth of each other in the top 10. So we could see anyone take pole, I think, out of Q3.
True enough. Riding on board with Duncan Hoffland, the Aston Martin. He's just coming up to the beginning of the pattern now. Had a bit of an uncomfortable run through La Regina. Car getting very unsettled, so this probably won't be the best we see from the current 13th place runner. He's now into Junshao, not flirting with as much grass as we saw from other drivers earlier on. What can Duncan Hoffland get on the board? His first time lap of the night. And it is a 1:07.438. Certainly expect that to come down as the quali sessions roll on. It's the first opening time set. Who else has got a time on the board? Who else is going to set a time? We've got cars coming over the line now. Some have either invalidated or... Oh, there we go. I was waiting for one to set a time. Chana Kinchi with a 1:07.428, and then Shanaka Clay 1:07.411. The track will obviously continue to improve. People's confidence in their status and what have you will continue to improve. Daniel Kjellson now at 1:07.377 to get to the top of the board. Now we're starting to see just how close this field will be. How Reese Linton wanted to continue where he left off, at least qualifying performance-wise from Mexico. 1:07.255. He's put on the board. Otis Lawrence man that's on a 2-winning streak at the moment. He's competed twice this season and both times in the McLaren on the top spot of the podium. Can he make it 3 for 3?
Well, we can see what he can do. You're not here into P4. We've got Jake Benham popping himself up into P13 only, and that's not ideal for Jake at all. Also, Thomas Ronhard with that 1 minute 07.472. That's also not ideal for him, but still it shows how close the grid is. It's just over 2 tenths separating Reese and Ronhard, and that's the top 14. Normally, the gap is around 4 tenths by the time you get down to 14 to 15, so it just shows how close this grid is here in WR Tier 1. Obviously at the top you can see it's Reese ahead of Otis, just 30 thousandths separating those two. And then Alfie Busher also, I believe, making his first appearance this season for the Haas team as a reserve here tonight. He's also in the top 3, so we'll see if Alfie can try and get a podium here on debut. Jarno looking a lot more comfortable here in Brazil than he did back in Mexico, both in Q1 and Q2. He struggled heavily in Q1, he was near the 8 at one point, but here tonight he looks like he's going to be a lot more stronger, and I think actually he's going to make it through in P4 because only 2 drivers go out at the moment. Those going out will be Alvaro Carreton and Ben Shabakonyes. Obviously, those 2 are meant to be qualifying. Obviously, Ruben, Patrick and Luke won't be. So we'll see what Alvaro and Bench need to do, but they need to get something on the board shortly. I thought Bench was on that, but he must have let off somewhere. But he needs to set a 1 minute 20.1. Carleton also must have not improved on his lap that he did on the Inters, which is a 1 minute 11.144. But I think those probably in the top 10 could probably retire here. I think they haven't got to worry too much about the times crumbling down. So yeah, we'll just see what we'll see what the drivers can do for the rest of the part of Q1. But Q2 will be a lot more interesting, guys. Don't worry. This isn't, this isn't what we're normally expecting qualifying. We've got a few drivers not here, a few drivers not qualifying here tonight. Hence why people aren't constantly going out, getting laps in. People don't really need to worry. Q2, however, with how close the grid is at the moment, I think everybody will be constantly going out for laps.
Oh, without any doubt at all. So in our bottom 5, the 3 that, as we mentioned, that will not be progressing through to Q2. That is Ruben Pedronia, Luke Smith, and Patrick Sipos. So they have already earned their spot in the bottom 5. But Alvaro Carreton and Ben Sabaconi are the 2 that need to get on with it somewhat. They need to find where it's gone wrong for them, or not do the same mistake again. That's still Alvaro's intermediate time, incidentally. He hasn't set a valid soft run yet. That's Pedreno parking it. Again, we knew that Ruben was going to do that. Patrick will do so at some point. So, yeah, the top, certainly top 5 easily. Don't need to worry about it. But then, exactly as you said, I say top 5 don't need to worry about it. That takes you down to 107.368 from Philip Preschneider. But there's only a 10th between him and 13th.
So it's close.
Such is the nature of this track. Such is the nature of this grid.
Well, it's Interlagos. I think in any grid, the track, I think even in the Commentators' Cup we did, it was actually quite close, wasn't it, between the top 10? It was about 5 tenths, which is, for a group of commentators that don't play the game, that is considerably close.
It was. Got some people coming out on circuit now. I see some movements. We've got quite a few coming out. Chan's out. Xander Van Dyken's come out. Thomas Ronhar. Alvaro Carreton. Spencer Baconi is now out on field. Quite a few more have come out than I was expecting, considering we're only going to lose 2 more from this session. Kai Pearson, Thomas Ronhar. I can understand them coming out.
I suppose with 8th down to 14th, like literally separated by just over half a tenth, if they've all got that conscious thing of, well, if one makes an improvement, I need to make sure I can get improvement to stay in. So then because of that, everyone's going out because they're all thinking, oh, well, if everyone else improves, I'm going to drop down. So they're all going out just to kind of cover themselves up. I think most of them will get through easily anyway. But some of them don't want that risk going through towards Q2. They want to be, all these drivers here are comfortably able to make it through to Q2. A lot of it is about timing and mistakes. They've all easily got enough pace to put it on pole, which is about what they can do in the actual session under the pressure, and obviously with limited and, with unlimited practice, some drivers can sweat the track for a week. Some, if they've got other leagues, might only be able to spend a day on it. So, there's lots of different factors that come into it, hence why the drivers don't always have those peak lap times. As you can see, Chana Kinchi just heading down in towards someone's begin his final run of the session. Currently on a 1 minute 7.428, just as we said, half to the head of Thomas Ronhar in P14. So we're going to see if Chan can get himself an improvement in this session, coming down the Metro Repository towards the Descida de Largo. He's up by 15 tenths in that first sector. Just tucking it to the inside of the apex, getting back on the penalty zone as he heads through in towards turn 5. Now back up the hill in towards turns 6 and 7 at it's Paradura and Larangina from Correct. Just up the hill, get back on the power, keep the throttle down. You're heading towards turn 8 at the braking zone. Slam the car onto the brakes, get back on the power coming through. Now towards Pinarino at turn 9. Yeah, again, getting back early on the pedal on the exit, using all that curbing as you can to try and extend the circuit as much as you can without invalidating that lap time. Through turn 10 now, in towards a long turn 11 at Magullio. Just going to keep the car around, use that inside line, slam onto the brakes in towards Junsau. Use that curb a little bit if you can, then Roddick on the exit, get the power back down. Who's up in that middle sector? I didn't see how much by. Thomas Ronhar goes into P5, we'll see what Chanakinch can do.
I'm giving an eye on Ben Sabaconi. He's just come through Junsau now because he's under pressure to get out of that bottom 5. As more lap times are getting onto the board, Shanna Kinsey up into 3rd, Xander Van Dijk in 4th, with still some time on the clock, but not really realistically time to set. Oh, that's close for Ben Sabaconi. He's only 15th. That pushes Kai Pearson into the drop zone, but that didn't last long. Avera Carrington has just jumped up into 11. Ben Sabaconi is out. So this pushes Kai Pearson into trouble. And also Jake Benham. Duncan Hoffman has done what he can. Kai Pearson's invalidated. He can do no more. So we have got our fading 2 from this round already decided. Oh, goodness me. Jake Benham was the one that just narrowly squeezed by. Ismail Fassi, championship leader, takes the top spot in Q1.
Yeah, 5,000 separating him and Reese Linton in this session. And, well, all those that retired were safely through, like we said it before. But obviously, you just want to make sure you don't take that risk of getting out in Q1. So you can see Jake Benham just heading back in towards the pit lane now to conclude his Q1 session in 15th, narrowly avoiding that drop zone. Obviously, Mercedes, yet again, well, at least Jake, not looking the strongest here in WRT. We'll see what he can do as he's progressing towards Q number 2. But Ben Okoye, big shame to see him out of the session here in Q1. It would have been nice to see him fight for the top 10, I believe, back in Ironman. He's got a podium or 2 there, so we know he's a very quick driver. We know he's capable of bringing these good results in, but today will not be one of those, at least in the qualifying segments of the evening. Kyle Pearson also out in Q1. He was, I believe, made his debut back in Mexico, took P7 in the end. He'll be fighting back from 17th. He's got a lot of work to do as obviously as we go through towards the race. You're going to have to gain at least 7 positions to get yourself into the top 10. Then, after that, it's all about attacking and defending to try and get yourself even higher up on the grid. But Ismail Fassi on the top here in Q1. Wow, going into Q2 and Q3. If he keeps this up, can anyone stop him is a question. I know it's only a little gap, but around here, a little gap is quite a big gap.
That's the thing, isn't it? Is that a small gap of a few hundreds in comparison to the track you're on makes all the difference. So in these are, of course, inconsequential. We all know this process by now. Ismail Fassi taking that top spot by 0.005 of a second from Reese Linton by the end of that session. Then Otis Lawrence, Chana Kinchi, 3rd and 4th, Xander Van Dijk and Eastman Pookie, Alfie Butcher, Jana Wadmere, Thomas Ronhart, and Philip Schneider, top 10 in that first qualifying session. You're not even 2 tenths. 2 tenths only just covers the entire 15 that made it through to the next session.
Yeah.
Shanaka Clay, Daniel Kielson, Alvaro Carrington, Duncan Hoffman, and Jake Benham, your progressing drivers. We lose Ben Sabaconi, Kai Pearson, Ruben Pedreño, Luke Smith, and Patrick Seaposs.
Yeah, obviously, well, it's just immense, isn't it? That was, I think it was just under a tenth separating the top 9. I mean, it's interesting going into Q3. Were you going to see anyone on pole? We could see someone on pole at the start of the session thinking, oh, yeah, they've got this. They're 50 tenths clear. There we are. Then by the end, we're like, oh, they're going to be something P10. It just shows how close this track is. And when you got a grid as competitive and as good as these drivers here, who barely make mistakes, and I've jinxed that now because I learned them all making a mistake now instead of this, there's just nothing can just stop how close it is. And it would be nice if real F1 was as close, because all those drivers also have the same skills, but the cars aren't equal here. They are. So it makes it an equal playing field for everybody, regardless of equipment. So, yeah, it's just... I think esports, for me, is actually more interesting than real life F1 at this point.
A lot of the times it really can be, especially depending on certain tracks. It really can give us a lot more action than its real life counterpart. Everyone has stormed out of the garage within the first minute of Q2. Exactly as you said earlier, Richie, it really is game on. Look how heavily condensed everybody is behind. I think it's Alfie Butcher, isn't it? Our one surviving Haas. Look at that. It's like no one. It's like Alfie, but it's like that one copper that no one wants to pass on a dual carriageway. Because everybody's queued up behind Alfie Butcher. Not because Alfie's holding them up. It's just, Alfie happened to be the one that pulled the trigger quickest. And the Haas garage being that much closer to the end of the garage is, of course, again, we know this process by now. But, well, everybody getting out there and meaning business. We're not seeing a big lull in qualifying. We will do when everybody comes in after their first laps. These will almost certainly be on used tyres to get the banker laps out of the way. Let's see how these times shake up as the Haas of Alfie Butcher starts his first time lap of the session.
Yeah, we'll see what Alfie can do as he heads through out to the final few corners to begin his first lap of the Q2 session. We'll see everyone will also sit behind, but Alfie's got a bit of a better advantage because all those often slow down more, pretty much stopping on circuit down at turn 12, meaning their tyres are going to be very cold beginning their laps. Alfie could warm them up properly. He didn't have pressure from people behind. He didn't have to stop the car to prepare his lap. He can just, warm the tyres, nurse them in, then go for it. As you can see him now heading down the Retro Apostle in towards turn number 4 at the Descida de Lago. We'll see what he can do in that first set. Will be a 16.756 for Alfie Butcher in that opening set, coming through in towards turn 5. Now to the left, then he'll head himself back up a bit of a hill in towards the double right-hander at turn 6 and 7. Just throw the car in. As you can see, just hopping the curbs as he comes through, using that curb to pull the car round. Back of the power, down onto the brakes as he heads in towards turn 8. Because he's just feeding the car through to that inside line, using that curb on the exit and the entry and the exit. As you head down in towards turn 10, very easy to lock up the brakes here, so try not to turn and brake too much in towards that corner. Back on the power, coming through in towards Magullia now at turn 11. And we can see him head down in towards John Sow at turn 12. 50.613 for that middle sector split. We'll see what that lap time will be produced at the end of the lap. As you see him now coming through in towards the final few corners, which is, to me, just one big long corner, but the track classifies that as about 4 corners. Up to line, what will it be? A 107.378 for Alfie Butcher. Then we got the likes of Otis Lawrence coming through as well. He goes into second with a 0.471. We got loads of cars coming through. Duncan Hoffman now into second. Zan Van Dyke and watching Ishmael Fassi. John Watmere goes fastest here in Q2. And we'll see what Ishmael Fassi can do. No, only 7th for him. So not an ideal lap time. We've got the 2 Red Bulls coming through, which will be Shanaka Clay and Daniel Kjelsen. Daniel into P5. Shanaka, where will he go? He will only go P9 there, just ahead of Ishmael Fassi. We've got Philip Pressure heading through. He goes up into 3rd. Then we've got Chanakinchi. We've got Thomas Ronhar coming through as well. Ronhar goes up into P7. Chanakinchi into the top 3. And we've got Jake Penham into P3. We've got not Ishmael Fassi, so that was a Bean. I think this one, Pookie popping himself up into P9 there. And wow, look how close the grid is. We'll look at the gap to leader. Oh, look at that, Chris.
Less than 3 tenths.
Less than 2 tenths separating the top 13. And Jake's retired. He's binned
He's
it.
crashed it.
Oh,
He's
Jake.
How has he done that? How on earth has he done that? I didn't. Yeah, but look how far down the red imposter he was. I mean, I can only assume there was contact there. I would imagine the driver's chat is going to get interesting.
His wheel died.
Oh no!
Oh, what a shame.
Well, that'll do it.
Jake's out of Q1, isn't he, at this point? I mean, Q2, sorry. Let's just admit that right now. He's
it's...
Oh, what a shame.
Unless the bottom 5 have the most horrendous Q2, there is no way Jake Benham is going to go through the Q3.
Indeed. And now we've got a little bit of a buffer while we wait for the end of the Q2, or the mid of the Q2 runs to start. So we'll have a bit of a chat with the viewers. We're going to steal Dan Field's thing, and we're going to say, everyone in the chat, let us know where you're from, where you're watching from, as it's all online racing. Hopefully everyone's from this world, and normally we see people from Mars, Jupiter, so if that's again, hello everyone outside of the world, but hopefully everyone...
An intergalactic audience.
Yeah. Timo is in the Netherlands, and he's very happy about being in the Netherlands, isn't he? We got Brazil, Denmark for Lasse, then Lewis, is there any need? The moon? We know you're not from the moon. Connor says Brighton, brilliant place. Monaco, ooh. Timo. And Time's apparently watching from my closet. Wow. In England, we don't say closet, so I don't have one of those. Alabama, Germany, the UK, Belgium, Slovakia, England, London, Mars, there we are, hello to the intergalactic audience, Canada, a lot of people from England today. Normally see people from everywhere, but we've got a lot of people from England. We've got Portugal, Zimbabwe, Ukraine, Colombia, South Africa, Spain. Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it, Chris, to see everyone from every part of the world. It's brilliant, isn't it, to see everyone together?
Yep, absolutely. So I've just noticed actually an interesting fact on my screen. Jake Benham's time shouldn't put him 10th. It should actually put him 3rd.
It's because he
on my...
DNF'd.
Oh, okay. So he just dumps him into 10th.
So he would have been out anyway because of him crashing in the session, which is weird, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on my screen, he said 107.428, which at the moment would be good for 3rd, which I suspect is still going to, even a 428 is going to put him down into the bottom 5 anyway. As Xander is the one that's gotten the penalty, irrelevant because we're restarting the session anyway. Eastman Pookie didn't want to be left out. He's decided to put his name on the penalty board as well. But again, just like the first round of qualifying sessions, the first quali laps of this session, loads of people come out all together. So no lull in qualifying. The only man that the man that's kind of put himself out of sync to everybody else is actually the Jarno. Jarno Uppbeat, quite off the back of the rest of the pack. Interesting decision.
Well, his teammate's in the pit, so we'll see what Yo can do. Obviously, he's right at the back of the field, but we've got Duncan Hoffland now beginning his lap, heading down towards turn 1. He's 1.2 tenths back off of Jarno Uppbeat's time, who, considering he goes to grid, Jarno's time is very good. He's just 62 tenths ahead of Alfie, which the rest of the grid, he's pretty much, there's about 10 drivers probably separated by just over that on this grid. And also, yet again, thank you everybody for getting involved in the chat. Tell us where you are watching from. It does mean a lot when everyone gets themselves involved in the live chat. Duncan coming through and towards turn 4, down on his time currently by 18 thousandths in that first sector. Not ideal, but he's still got the second and third sector to go. We see sector 2 where you kind of gain the most time. Sector 3 is pretty much 1 corner. Sector 1 is pretty much 3 corners. Sector 2 is where you get all the time in the lap, where you kind of want to try and make the setup useful, this middle sector, as you can see coming through in towards turn 10. Now we'll see what he can do at the end of the second sector. We'll put that now around the exit of turn 11, which is Magulio. Just heading through there now. What will it be for Duncan? It's up by 66 thousandths, which is good enough to pop it into, I believe, around P2 currently. As you can see, everyone else also beginning their laps. He's coming through in towards the final few corners now. We'll see what he can do, what lap time he can get onto the board. He's made no mistake coming through just out, so it should still be at least being up by 60 thousandths. He'll go to the line. It will be the quickest lap time by 69 thousandths of a second to Jarno Uppbeat in second. We've got a few laps to come through. Alfie Butcher's let off. We've got Chene Kinchi heading down towards turn 14 to try and find someone who's near the end of their lap. I believe we've got one of the Williams coming through. It will be Alvaro Caraton. He's heading up towards on. He's up by 2.5 tenths. So we'll see. Can he try and take that top spot away from Duncan Hoffland as he heads up towards the line? What will it be? It will be quickest by 74 tenths of a second. So Chris, already the lap times are flying down.
Yeah, that's quicker than we saw in Q1, which was an inevitable fact. But we are now starting to get the times on the board that show the improvement that we are expecting from our drivers. Reese Linton up into seconds, Ander Van Dyke now down to 4th. There's Otis Lawrence has slotted up into that top spot with the 107.117, finding 600ths over Alvaro Caraton. What about our championship leader, Ismail Farsi, currently 15th and last in the list? Where's he jump up to now? It is second alongside his fellow Williams teammate, 107.129. Puts him, 12 thousandths behind Otis Lawrence.
Indeed, and you know what, popping himself up into P3 there, just half a back from Otis Lawrence. But that now knocks it knocks 4 very big names actually, in towards that bottom 5. Shanaka Clay, Thomas Ronner, Isfan Pookie and Alfie Busher. Now that is a bottom 5 that we do not expect to see. Shanaka literally took a podium last week. Thomas Ronner won the first opening event in Bahrain. He's been a quick driver this game and last game. Isfan Pookie also another very quick driver along with Alfie Busher as well, who's one of the youngest very quick drivers here in this grid. 4 big names currently going to be out here in Q2. But we've still got a run left to go. We've got 5 minutes left of the session. I mean, everyone can get themselves back out for one last run. And, well, look at that. The top 13 separated by 1.8 tenths of a second. Alfie probably would have improved, but he made a mistake on his lap. He's actually up on his in-lap now, unless he's going to complete this lap. We'll see. Does he complete the lap? Because he was actually up by 2 tenths. So we'll see if Alfie does complete the lap. He's just coming through. I think he will complete his lap, actually. He was up by 2 tenths in the middle set. So Alfie will complete his lap, so he must have let off from his first to go for a second lap. Where will he put himself now? Up to 3rd, meaning that will knock Daniel Kjelsen into the bottom 5. And, well, Ishmael Fuzzy, is going to retire on his 1 minute 7.1. See, for once, I would say that's a little bit optimistic.
Well,
because it's only 10 back to P11.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's, what are we, 1st to 10th at the moment? 0.14. There we go. Not even 1.5 tenths is the distance between pole and out of this session. Yes, we always talk about this in Brazil because it's such a short lap time and because this grid is so close. Yes, I know we always talk about it, and I make no apologies for it because, again, that just goes to show how easy it is to go from top to bottom and how costly a mistake is. You can argue that a mistake is always costly. Well, in some tracks, take Spa for example, if you make a mistake in Eau Rouge, you've got some distance to be able to kind of make that time up elsewhere in the lap. You haven't got that luxury here in Interlagos. So it is all or nothing every single time you leave the garage.
Yeah, I think this track, it always entertains because as much as you got a really close grid in qualifying, this track is one of the only ones on the calendar, I think, where you can take every single corner side by side. Maybe bars turns 2 and 3 unless you're careful. But apart from that, every single corner you can take it battling. I've seen laps before between drivers, and they've literally gone from turn 1 to Juncao side by side, or if not pretty much side by side. So that is also what I love about this circuit, is the race in action is always superb. And this is why I'd say Brazil is, like, I'd say the track layout itself isn't very exciting for me, but in terms of the entertainment and, the entertainment and the performance it provides from the drivers, it's probably my favourite, especially as a commentator, because there's always something to mention, there's always something going on. And, well, in Q2, we could lose literally any of these drivers at this point. It's that close. Normally, you have someone who's ahead of the field by a 10th in Q2. Here, the person who's a 10th back from first is in P9.
Yeah, that is exactly it. So, well, we are into what I always call the Banzai phase, and it is very, very important here in Interlagos in particular. And everybody is getting on with business. Only a couple of drivers yet to break cover. Alfie Butcher's now leaving the pit lane. Jarno is just moving as well. So that will be everybody that hasn't retired from the session. Ismail, of course, can't come back out. He's decided, again, curiously, to park the car. There's no need to save tires. If we were progressing straight from quali to race, I can understand people saving tires, but the session's being reset anyway, so that is a bit of a curious decision. However, it is Chanakinchi that is going to face a bit of traffic on his final lap. We'll see if that hampers it. 107.257 his time. 107.117 is his target.
Yep, so on board now with Chanakichi heading down in towards turn 4. There's a few cars ahead. I think luckily he will miss that traffic as they're all just coming through towards Junsao. Once they hit Junsao, they're flying off down towards turn 1. Chan was up in that first sector by a little bit of time. So we'll see if he can get any more time out this lap in towards turn 6 and 7. Just passing one of the Mercedes. That'll be on Otmir. As he's also yet again at the back of the grid here going in towards the end of Q2. Chan having a big slide coming in towards turn 8, heading through turns 9 and 10 now. We'll see what he can do in this middle sector shortly as he heads into the braking zone, throws the car in, back on the power nice and early. He's a McLaren driver, currently in the top 10. It'd be nice to see Chan get through to Q3 yet again this season. Is he up in that middle sector? Yes, he is by a 10th currently. Chan could be looking to take the fastest time. That shows how close this grid is. He's down in 10th. He could be looking to go quickest as he exits out of Junsao, heading down now in towards the final couple of corners. He heads up towards the line, past the pit lane. What will he do in this session? Chanakinchi, where will he go? Up into only P7. Lost some time in that final sector.
Oh, was looking promising for the McLaren then, but is that going to be enough? I doubt it. I don't think that is going to be sufficient. Reese Linton up into 7th, I think that was. Again, I'm going to lose track of who's just set their time. Ron Hart 3rd. Xander Van Dijk is the Alfa Romeo pair. 3rd and 4th at the moment. Let the times roll in as the checkered flag falls now. Oh, Reese Linton, no, he hadn't just set a time. 107.076 to jump up to the top of the tree. Duncan Hoffland is out. Shinaka Clay comes across the line in 9th. That's going to be risky. 107.179. Van Dijken can't improve. So he remains in 5th. He should be fine. Carrollton's pitted from 8th position. Oh, is that going to be a risk? We will see. Otis Lawrence parks it. He'll probably be okay. We have no idea. Philip Preysnader jumps up into 2nd. That puts Chanakinchi out because he's just coming out of the pit lane entry himself. So that is it. We have our bottom 5 decided. It's Chanakinchi, Daniel Kilson, Duncan Hoffman, Ace Van Pookie, and Jake Benham. Oh, goodness me. Shinaka Clay by less than 200 seconds, 13 thousandths indeed, just squeaks through. And Jarno, of course he does. He's that's actually slightly disingenuous for me to say that because we always assume that Jarno is going to put it on top. But then, in fairness, he hasn't had it all his own way this season. He, of course, he was champion last time out, but he hasn't stood on the top step. He's had to fight this season, so it's not all going his way, and he's still able to put in strong performances. So fair play, Jarno, but less than 10 separates the top 3.
Indeed, and obviously him and Ishmael Fassi, obviously separated by 16 points with Ishmael Fassi being on top of Jarno. If Ishmael can carry on how he is, this could still... Jarno could still struggle. I think last time in Mexico, we really missed what could have been a perfect round for him to get himself into that championship fight. But with Ishmael still performing these good performances going into Q3, if he can get himself ahead of Jarno, that gap's going to go more and more higher. So we can see Jarno went fastest in that Q2 session, 40 tenths ahead of Reese Linton in second, Philip Preciator in third, ahead of Otis Lawrence and Ishmael Fassi in the top 5. Then we had the two alphas of Thomas Ronard and Xander Van Dyken in 6th and 7th. We have Alfie Butcher, Alvaro Carton and Shanna Clay in the top 10. Then we did lose the McLaren of Chad Kinchi, Daniel Kjeldsen in 12th, Duncan Hoffland in 14th, 13th, sorry, Isvan Pookie in 14th, and Jake Benham in 15th. We'll be back with you very shortly to have some words from our sponsors over at Next Level Racing. Oh, wrong screen. There we are. Oh, wrong screen again. There we are. There we are. A bit of messing about, and we got it back on. I went to the wrong screen 3 times. Yes, again, that's thanks to the stream deck because I'm still getting used to it. So yes, if I keep messing up the streams,
bad workman blames his tools.
Well, that's the excuse I've got because I never used to do it before. That'll be the excuse I give. But backtracks on here for the start of Q3. Jarno Opmeer currently on an out lap to begin his first lap of the Q3 session. Everyone else is in the pits. They still went a little bit before they get out on towards circuit. And well, we'll see who can take the top spot here. But yet again, Chris, anyone here can do it.
Well, yeah, that is exactly it. Any one of these 10 has the possibility of taking that top spot. And first to 10th is going to be... I'm going to say now, everybody, if they get their real best out there, will be separated by less than a tenth of a second from first to 10th. I'm going to put it out there now. I'm also curious that no one else has broken cover. Only Jarno is out there.
Completely going out of sync. So we'll see what he can manage to do here at the start of Q3. But the question I want to know, Chris, and you know exactly what that question is, don't you?
Yes.
Who is going to take pole?
I'm not one for going with the obvious answer. Of course, we saw Jarno get the top spot just about in the second section. In the second session. I've already forgotten who got it in Q1.
Ishmael.
Ishmael Fassi, who is in this session. Current championship leader. You know what? I'm going to go with the Mexico pole man. I'm going to go Reese Linton. Wow, has he been really, on the ball? He's been really on the ball tonight. Mm-hmm. He's been very, very close to that top spot in the previous 2 sessions. I'm going to go the Ferrari man, our sole Ferrari in this section.
Well, normally, I don't like to agree, but I have to agree. I was actually thinking of Reese Linton. So, Chris, for the first time, I think we both got the same prediction. We both got the same prediction for pole. I think Reese Linton will get pole. So, the 2 commentators believe it'll be Reese Linton on pole today. Everyone in the chat, who do you think will take pole position? I think we know what the obvious name will be, but let us know, guys, who you think will take pole. And also, if you know what the times are around in Q3 in Brazil, let us know what time you think it will be as well, to the exact millisecond. So I'm going to say a 106.989.
Oh, see, I hadn't quite got the same numbers.
I don't know what the
could you imagine if we had the same numbers? I'm going to go 106.946.
Okay. Will Gibson says pole will be a 0.8, Nathan Rishi Man. Donato says Shanaka Clay. Advay says Alfie Butcher. Ismail for pole says Pascal. Arcadeep says a 106.895. So we've got some decent predictions in already. We've had 3 predictions through, and obviously 3 of them being the different drivers. We've got Andrew saying Otis. Martin says Philip Hype. Yono will take polls. What are you guys saying? Says Jordan. And
well, he invalidated that last run, so it could be he's feeling the pressure a bit.
Could be. Definitely could be. He went out early and, well, didn't really pay off too well for him.
He's on the move again.
106.789 says Yatin for Yano. Will Wishel says 106.983. Method Jack says 106.721. That's a very quick time indeed. Ron Hart says Sandor 104.9. If someone's doing a 104.9, they need their files checking. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at the moment it seems the pole position is not really going towards anyone specifically. It's just kind of a bit of everyone here.
But that's what we love to see, isn't it? We don't want one person just dominating the entire field.
Indeed.
Well, that's certainly what I want.
Even though we both said the same person.
Well, no, we both think it's going to be the same person this round, but we can't say that he's dominated the season because he's only just joined it. In fact, anyway, Alvaro Caraton is going to be the next person to set a lap time, no matter what that lap time will be. Coming through turn 4 and 5, to City de Laga, the descent into the lakes. Now up the hills, very steep rise towards Ferradura. 6, 7, Larangina, 8, the S's, then 9, Peronino. I'm hoping I'm getting these somewhere pronounced correctly. Then the very slow left-hander. Negative cameras, you start to come back up the hill towards Biga de Bata, the duck bill. Turn 10, down the hill once more. Turn 11, Mugello. Then turn 12, Jun Xiao. All in rapid succession. Traffic ahead. It's Jarno Opmeer that is... well, he's just got his foot down, so Alvaro Caraton shouldn't have to worry about it. Fuel tank empty. ERS being burned. What can he get on the board? It was a 107.1 as the top time in Q2. It's a 107.1 again, a 107.137 for the Williams.
And Xander Van Dyken coming through into P2 with a 107.166. Then we got somebody will be Philip Pressure heading through. No, it won't. It'll be one of the other cars. It'll be Fassy coming through. Can he try and take provisional pole? Yes, he can.
Whoa,
a 106.955, and that's really not marked up at the board. That's at a 989. That's how it's been knocked out the park there by Ishmael Fassy, Shanaka Clay into the top 3. Then we got Reese Linton. Can he try and take pole position? He's our guest for tonight. He going to P2 just behind Ishmael Fassy. 10th back is quite a lot around this circuit. Otis Torrance now takes that P2 spot away from Reese Linton. We got Philip Pressure coming through. He's invalidated, so he won't be setting a time. Alfie Butcher's also invalidated. What about Thomas Ronard? He's coming through. He's let off his time, so he won't be sending time at the start of Q3. What about Jan Otmir? He's heading through in towards the end of that second sector now. It's 50.294 for the Flying Dutchman. He heads through, heads to John Say up towards the final few corners. We'll see, can he try and take that provisional pole away from Ishmael Fassy? He's on a 106.955, the only driver here to be in the 106s so far this evening. Jan Otmir up towards line. Will it be pole? It'll be P2. Jan Otmir currently on the front row. The two championship rivals sitting first and second, separated by 10,000ths of a second. Oh, this could be brilliant, couldn't it, Chris?
Oh, it's the top 3 of the championship. Our 1, 2, 3 line the stern at the moment. Yeah, the top 2, 100th of a second between our 2 championship protagonists. Fantastic. And we still have the good old Banzai phase, all or nothing, do or die, feast or famine laps to come. And pressure on Preschneider. I didn't actually mean that for that alliteration, but there we go. Philip Preschneider under pressure to get that time on the board. And, well, that was Alfie. He's just done his time. That was two laps on those soft tires, 107.122, puts him up into 5th. A decent effort on slightly less than peak tires. But who has got that little bit left in the tank? Who has been sandbagging this long? We've both gone for Reese Linton. Only one person can come out on top. Who will it be? We've got just shy of 4 minutes to find out who.
I think that needs 1/10 separating the top 4. Obviously being Ishmael down to Reese Linton. The top 7 being separated by just under 0.2 of a second. Brilliant so far here at the start of Q3. Any of them could still have that chance to take pole position here, being as how close they are to the back of Ishmael Fassi. Obviously, Ron Hart didn't get that ideal lap time in at all. He let off as he went in towards that second set to Philip Preschneider. Obviously, didn't set a lap time. He invalidated down at the first part of the lap. So those two have still got laps to go through. Thomas Ron Hart, we know he can take pole. We know he's always one of the quickest drivers here in this grid, so we'll see if he can try and demote Ishmael Fassi from that top position. And in the chat you can see there is a poll up, and it will be between, let's have a look, it will be between Jarno, Ishmael, Otis, and obviously if you say that comment down below, tell us who you think it will be who takes pole. But at the moment we can see it's 65% for Jarno, so we know exactly who people are going to be voting for here tonight in Q3. Obviously back in Mexico, Jarno was 8 in Q2, he's in P12. He's now in Q3, he's currently sitting in P2. We know Jarno isn't the strongest in qualifying. Well, tonight it seems like he's showing something a little bit different because he's absolutely flying here in qualifying.
He's showing why he is multiple champion in various different places. No matter where you put the Flying Dutchman, he has excelled there. Bear that in mind. Ron Hart was the first one to break cover. Actually, both of the Alfa Romeos were the first two cars on track, but Jarno has just leapfrogged Xander Van Dijken and Thomas Ron Hart. I don't think there's an awful lot of lost between those two, considering how many times Ron Hart and Uppbeat have crossed swords. You can actually see Uppbeat is closing up to the back of Thomas Ron Hart. So I suspect that Mercedes just wants to get out there and get on with it. Well into the Banzai phase now, and Ron Hart puts up no opposition. Why should he? It's only qualifying. So it is going to be Jarno Uppbeat to set his first, or to be the first to set their lap in the Banzai phase. What can the Flying Dutchman do? It's already an impressive 106.965. I put my pole time at 109. No, I didn't. 106.94, something or other. I can't even remember what I said now. All 10 cars are out there. Jarno Uppbeat winds it up and drops the hammer. Where will the Flying Dutchman be?
Heading down in towards turn 1 is Jarno Uppbeat, currently sitting second. He needs to try and take himself a pole position here today, and he's let off. He must be going again. He's going again. He's just burnt some fuel. We know around here you can burn a bit of fuel, so what a start that was. So Jarno Uppbeat will not be completing that lap, but Thomas Ron Hart will. He's heading through in towards turns 2 and 3 now to head down that Retro Reposta in towards turn 4 at the Descida de Lago. We'll see if he can try and take that pole position away from Ishmael Fassi in towards turn 4. He's up by 2 seconds, but that's because he made a bit of a mistake, obviously, on that first run. We'll see what he can do. Heading up now in towards the turn 6 and 7. 2 right-handers up the hill. Just throws the car in down to his gear, gets back on the power coming through. Launches the car in towards turn 8, back on the brakes, in towards that corner, have a bit of a slide there. That's not too bad for him at the moment. Through in towards turn 9, back on the power, heading down. Now in towards Pico de Pato at turn 10. We'll see what he can do in this middle. Said what that split will be from Ron Hart. But it was a 50.2 for Jarno Uppbeat on his lap earlier on. So we'll see if Ron Hart can have a better split in that middle section to 50.269. So that is literally, I think, 200ths of what Jarno did. So currently, Thomas is down from that pole time, but he's still got some, if he can do it, in towards that final couple of corners. Heading through now, up towards line. What will it be for Ron Hart? Will it be pole position for the Alfa Romeo? Through towards the line. It will be pole with a 106.922. We've got a few drivers still yet to come through. We've got Jarno going to be starting his lap. Then we've got the other Alfa Romeo of Xander Van Dijken heading through. He's let off his lap, so he won't be completing, I believe, this lap here tonight. We've got one of the Red Bulls coming through. That'll be Shanaka Clay. He's gone purple in that middle set, so we'll see if he can try and find improvements at the final part of this lap. He's the next one to cross the line. Currently in P8 with a 107.148. Can he try and take pole away from Ron Hart? Through up towards the line, the checkered flag has gone away. What will it be? It will be P2 for the Red Bull driver. Then we got the Williams of Varro Caraton coming through. Can he try and take pole away from Thomas to the line? No, he will go P3. Then we got Reese Linton in P7. Can he try and take pole? Mine and Chris's guess he will only go P5 here in this session. Then the double race winner Otis Lawrence. Can he take pole? No, he will only be in P7. Then we've got our championship leader Ishmael Fassi, who's invalid, so it will be no proof for him either in this session. Then Jarno Uppbeat, he's up in that middle sector. We'll keep on board with him for now. It's Philip Preschneider to the top. He takes provisional pole in the Alpine. Now it's all down to Jarno Uppbeat. Can he try and take that pole away? He's down to P8 after being in P2 because of all these improvements so far in this session. Alfie Butcher now into the top 5. Can Jarno Uppbeat take pole position here in this section? He's up in the middle sector. Is it enough for pole to the line? No, only P8 for Jarno Ottmeier. Now that is a big
Wow.
surprise. That's a very big surprise, but can actually Xander Van Dyken take pole? He's going quicker. No, only P10 for him, but Jarno Ottmeier. Well,
Wow.
that was a big surprise. And it's only a 10 separating the top 9.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh my goodness me.
Wow.
Only 2 drivers outside of a 10th. Was Otis Lawrence, and he's only outside of that 10th by 0.02 of a second. Yeah, Xander Van Dyken, he kind of tried to copy Jarno's trick there of, doing essentially 2 outlaps, which I think that just burnt that slight edge out of the soft tires. It didn't work for them. Whatever the tactic was, it didn't work. So your top 10, Philipp Preisschneider. Wow, pulled that out of the bag at the right time. Then it's Thomas Ronhaar by 1,000th from Schumacher Clay. Then Caraton in 4th. Alfie Butcher 5. Ishmael Fassi in 6th. Our championship leader on row 3. Reese Linton Albert for the pole spot in 7th with Jarno Ottmeier in 8th. Otis Lawrence 9. And Xander Van Dyken rounding out the top 10. My goodness me. We do be close.
Wow. What a session that was. So the top 4 at the start of Q3 was, I think it was, I'm trying to think now. It was Ishmael, Jarno, Reese and Otis, I think, or it was something like that. Well, they all finished 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. So it wasn't the best for them at all at the end of the session. So, maybe those at the back let off a little bit on that first run. And, well, now it's Philipp on pole. And I don't think he could have wished for anything better because Philipp's a driver we've seen a long time. He's been on the scene for an absolute long time, but we never really see him at the top. So he's on pole here today. We've got to hope he can keep it up as the race evolves. Obviously, we have that restart at the start, after the end of Q3 in towards the start of the race. So we'll move ourselves back over to the camera screens while we wait for the session to get back underway. Obviously, Luke Smith will be our host, so thank you again to Luke for setting everything up for us tonight. But yeah, it's going to be a very exciting race. With how close the grid is, the top 9, or I think something being separated by 1/10 of a second. Well, I don't think we could have asked for a better qualifying at all. And we can see in the chat, Maloon very happy with that qualifying time there from Philipp, saying, "Yay, Philipp, let's go." John saying last race he was 19th. Yes, big improvement for Philipp so far. And people not happy about Jarno being in P8. It seems like he got very hyped up at the start of Q3, and at the end it will only be P8. And Max says you look sweat tonight. What, Max? Can you say that in English, please? My very beloved PCF2 DNFer, as I like to call him. And then Maloon says, "Come on, Don, cut the strap." Well, we'll see what Gregory can do tonight.
Oh, hopefully this is a bit of a confidence boost for Philipp Preisschneider because he has had a horrendous season so far. Yet to score any points and didn't finish in Mexico. So you want to talk about making a statement on why he deserves to be in this split, and that will do it.
Indeed, and I just spilt all that drink down me. Great. I completely missed my mouth. Do I need 3 pillows?
What did you spill? It best not have been Pepsi. I will hunt you wasting the drink of gods by spilling it. I'm going to hunt you down and glare at you menacingly.
And Will says, "When do you pay me?" Will, I'm not paying you. Oh wait, yes, I need to pay you. Yes, you'd send me the bank. Yeah, I forgot about that yesterday. Send me the details in a bit, and I'll do it. Tachyon says, "Do you really need 3 pillows?" Yes, I do. I like to have my head high when I'm sleeping. If it's flat, then it gets painful at the back of my neck. So if it's up, then it's less on my neck. So yeah, I do have 3 pillows.
Conversation derailed.
Well, you never said that to me, mate. You said you would, but you didn't. Sponsored WOR Pepsi, by the way. Yeah. Well, it's not. It's not even Pepsi. It's Aldi's ZX Cola.
Oh, let's see. So, you can spill as much of that as you like.
So it's not exactly Pepsi.
I have the real stuff here. Along with this empty bottle and this empty bottle. You can tell I'm a fan of it.
Indeed. Oh, well. Yeah, does it hurt your neck? Buck? No, it doesn't. Never has. And Lewis says 2 of those pills are for normal. You see the other one. Ah, Lewis. You will never change, will you, Lewis? Never. I'm under your bed. Well, you can't be unless you are about an inch tall, because my bed is pretty much flat to the floor. TV, ZX Colour, mate, it's 42p a bottle, and it actually tastes better than Pepsi Max. I can buy 5 bottles of those for 2 bottles of Pepsi Max.
We need words, Richie. We need words. That's no. You just you don't go. You don't do that. I thought we had something special here. I'm mortified. I'm wounded now.
He's near Birmingham. Yes, Will, I'm near Birmingham. It's not a very nice place to be. But actually, when we went to Birmingham yesterday after the Autosport, it was actually quite a nice place. We walked around the whole ball ring by accident. And yes, and then Max says, Nathanias Richidius, you want to see a Max Masterclass next time? No, we're not going to see that, Max. So let's be honest, mate. Let's be honest, that's not going to happen, is it? Let's go, Yarno. King Kodiak is back, says Noob Gamer.
I am. I never went in. I never went away. I just shrank a bit.
Yeah, you was off with off at tier 2, which actually we're here for tomorrow. So, bit of a shameless plug for tier 2. Come back tomorrow because there's an 8-point gap in the championship. The top 4 are separated by 20 points. That is also something you should come and watch. There's 1,000 people here now, so I want there to be at least 1,000 people tomorrow for tier 2. JSD, Leo Lund, Kian, and I think it's Lefty at the top 4. So come back tomorrow because you've also got some brilliant racing to watch there, which will be at Portimao. So not Brazil, but it'll be close enough, I suppose. They both speak the same language, don't they?
Your top 4 in tier 2 is JST, Leo, Joris, and Kian.
Oh, Joris and Kian. There we are. I forgot Lefty's P5, but he's only 28 points back, so he's not too far at all.
True enough.
So yeah, it's going to be brilliant tier 2s tomorrow.
Because
so
somebody chose not to appear last week,
which was
left it. He didn't. He wasn't with us, was he?
Oh yes, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't there, unfortunately. But hopefully he's back this week. Obviously, round 6 at Mexico was interesting. In tier 1 and in tier 2, it was brilliant for both races. And I think, wait, was it Mexico last week at tier 2? Am I silly?
It was.
Yes, it was because I remember Leo got spun around, didn't he, at the start? And then Mark went from 20th to 3rd. So yes, tier 2 was brilliant. And Mr. Cow, says, when is the race started? Well, hopefully in the next 5 minutes because we've got 20 drivers in there. The last person just joined. So yes, we should be getting in quite shortly. And Will says, Nathan, what's it like your nearest stadium being the Poundland Stadium? Well, I don't like it. I'd rather it be the Aldi Stadium because I don't like Poundland because nothing's a pound. Aldi, everything's less than a pound, so I don't think it should exactly be called the Poundland Stadium. So
and everything in there is made from the finest tree bark and grass.
Don't think anyone will watch F2 to be real. Well, if you don't watch F2, you're missing out. So
you are missing out.
Boo on you. So you're going to miss a night of entertainment. I hope for number 20 to win. Who's number 20? I think it's Pat 20. I don't know who number 20 is. I think it's one of the Alpines. I don't know which one though. All AlphaTauris / Alpine. Soon start. Yes, we're starting very shortly. We've got everyone in there, so I'm just going to wait. And then Will Gibson says, "Yes, Grippo Lund, Leo Lund, Grippo Lund, whichever one you want to call him." And then WOR or WRLD commentators have mentioned my name, Wild's name on stream for the last 4 streams in a row. Got to keep the streak going next week. Well, you're in here every time, so we respect that. Thank you. I don't do World at all. I don't really watch it too much. I don't like console. I shouldn't have said that on WR, should I? Because it is literally a console league. But there we are. I've said it. Hands up. But yeah, so yes, WR World, or call it, is always brilliant anyway. I've always seen the updates on Twitter. It's always really close between all the console drivers. And then Stingray Rob says, "Crazy, call me crazy, but CPOS is going to win." Maybe he will. He's got the chance. We've seen people do it before. We saw obviously Ishmael Fassi take the victory from P15 in Bahrain. So, maybe CPOS can do it from 20th to 1st here tonight. And then I'll give you a tenner to do an ad break on race start. No, thank you. I don't get persuaded for money. I don't have much of it, but I don't get persuaded for it anyway. But if you look on the right side, Chris, you can see. Oh no, everyone readied up. Then they didn't. So no, false alarm. We're not going to ready up just yet, but we will hopefully very shortly. And Max says Daniel Hjelton's going to win. And, I'm not going to respond to that one, mate. don't put stuff like that in the chat, please. And then Jasmine says Yono for the win. Well, we'll see what Yono can do. We'll get the predictions in later on in the race near the end or maybe at the start, and we'll see who people think was going to win. But, Chris, what's the question going to be?
Where do babies come from?
Well, no, that was not the question. And I don't need the answer to that. I don't think anyone does either. We don't want an answer. But who did this going to win, Chris? What's your guess?
Oh, Ronha.
Okay, that's fair. He's starting P2, so Well, we'll see what he can do. I said earlier on he's one of the quickest in qualifying, so maybe he can try and take P2. I mean, P2, P1 in this race. I don't know who I'm going to go with at all. So I'm going to go with the person...
You may as well just pick one out of nowhere.
I'm going to go with the person at the back, whoever that is. It's one of the LPs, so I don't know which one, but it'll be one of them. So
it might be Luke Smith, actually.
I'll go with the guy in P20. So,
all right, last the first challenge.
Matthew says, when's the race starting? We're loading in now, so we'll move ourselves over to the main screen. There we are, we can see the race starting. Stop asking when the race is starting. Well, you know, I've just literally said it when the race is starting, so we can see everyone moving in. And, well, Chris, you have the luxury of starting off a race which could either be very chaotic or very clean at turn 1.
I'm banking on the former more than the latter because it's Interlagos. I mean, it's not at least. It's probably going to be more chaos on the run down towards turn 4, frankly, but it's not a very big run from the line to the center S's, so that doesn't make it any less chaotic in sim racing form. So we'll see what happens this time out. I think we are loading into sunny weather. Yes, we are, which is what we loaded into on the previous sessions. So it makes sense to copy what we were going to see. We know this process by now. It is time for the drivers to get their setups right, make sure they switch away from the qualifying setups, although if they're still loading into those when the game starts, then something has gone slightly wrong there. So make sure they're not running defaults, make sure they've got their radiators open, etc., etc. I've seen people load in qualifying sessions to start a race, and, well, it's very short-lived for them. They tend to detonate their engines pretty quickly with having closed radiators. So we will see what people choose to do. What tires are people going to go for? It tends to be quite an interesting question, and we've seen a few times where one driver has gone counterclockwise to everybody else. I'm sure that's kind of a moment where they think, oh, should I have really done this? I think we're going to see a bit of a mixture of tires here. I don't think we're going to see everybody going for, or vast majority of people going straight to hards or straight to mediums, whatever. I think we're going to see a real mixture of potentially all 3 compounds to start with, but we will see. For anyone else about to ask when the race is going to start, here it is. We know this process by now. It is time to wind them up and to let them go. Now, who's going to be bravest on the brakes? Who's got the best start? Screaming the way down towards turn 1. Yano was already making moves. He's got Reese Linton. And have we had a successful turn 1? We have so far. So then, and as I thought, we have got a real mixture of tyre compounds going on. Yano on me with soft tyres up to 4th. We've got a spinner. Heath Van Pook in the Ferrari as well. He's had an incident with Duncan Hoffman in the back of the field. But up front, so far so good. Yano is making the most of those soft tyres, making moves. He's at 3 already.
Indeed, we also got Zen Van Donk trying to make a move with Channa Kinchi in towards turn 7. We've got Jake Venom also at the inside there of the Alfa Romeo. Someone's going off circuit. That was Ruben Pedreño in P16. Not the best start for him here in this race. And Shanaka Clay actually trying to defend from Yano. Yano's got the inside line in towards turn 10. And can he try and make a move for P3 in this race? Yes, he will back up the inside. Yano on the soft tyres ahead of all those on the hards. He will be really, really quick so far in this race. So we'll see what he can try and take the lead away from Philip Pressure. Had got a really good start at the start, didn't he, Philip? Ahead of Ronald. They nearly made contact at turn 1, but they all made it file through. Very nice. Oh, and there's a bit of contact from the back. That's Jake Benham. Oh, is his wheel died again, or has he just made a bit of a mistake at turn 12? I'm not quite sure. Just know that he came into contact with 2 people down at the at John Say, and also got people going 3 wide down towards turn 1. It's going to be Daniel Reese and Channa Kinchi in towards turn 1. Who will be ahead? I think Otis Lawrence is also involved with that one as well as they head in towards turns 1 and 2, all folding through together. It's going to be Daniel ahead of Otis. Oh, into the wall! Otis Lawrence is out of the race. Oh, dearie me. Otis Lawrence and Daniel Kjelton come into contact at turn number 2, and well, the Shadow took P2. Otis Lawrence ended up in the wall. And that's double race winner. Out.
Safety car has been deployed, and Kjelton is missing his front wing. This will, Yano will be ruining that. This is the time he needed to make hay with the sunshine to maximize his tyre advantage. All the soft runners, I suspect, are not happy about the fact that there is a safety car out there. But yeah, it was indeed Kjelton and Otis Lawrence came together. Otis was, I think, was trying to take the tighter line through the center S's to put him on the outside line before they didn't even get anywhere near the Retro Imposter before the Red Bull then Kind of whose fault that was, I have no idea. I just about kind of caught him mid-event, so to speak. That's going to be up to the stewards. I suspect that is going to be taken to the stewards. So sometimes we don't. Sometimes we say that, and the drivers choose to kind of resolve it themselves. I suspect that one is going to go to the stewards, so we will see. But either way, whether it does or doesn't, our double race winner Otis Lawrence will not be making it through on the bounce.
Well, Ron Hars into pits, so he's going to be done on those hards. We've got Benjamin McConney, Duncan Hoffman, Jake Venom, and Daniel Kelsey going into pits as well. So Ron Hars will definitely be going on to a set of mediums for this race. He'll be going on to another set of mediums afterwards as well. So it'll be a two-stop race so far for Ron Hars, because obviously those mediums will not make 33 laps whatsoever. So it's going to be still Philip Pressure leading ahead of Jan Ottmere. Whoa, what happened there? Jan, no. Oof, I don't think he was looking where he was going for a second. He flew past the Alpine and Indy took him out. Oof, that was a close one there between Philippe and Jarno. As you can see, Shanaka Claire, as I was going to say, sitting in third ahead of Alvin Butcher, and then the two Williamses in the top six.
Equally. I wonder why there was a gap forming behind Philip for a while, and then suddenly Jarno come blatting up behind the Alpine, and as I say, nearly joins him in the cockpit. So quite what was going on there, who knows? But yeah, several pit stoppers. We've got quite a few mediums now on the board. Thomas Ronhard pitting from second. Now leads the fresh stoppers. Jake Benham going on to soft tyres. Yeah, you definitely will be in the pits again. Well, we didn't even make it to where I thought it was going to be chaotic. It was turn 3 where it all undid on the opening lap. Ruben Pedreño joined. Where the hell have you been? You're in 10th, and apparently you've only just joined the session. Interesting. I didn't even realize we'd lost Ruben Pedreño, actually, quite frankly. He's up 8, so that must have... His disconnection must have happened behind the safety car, because I didn't spot when that happened.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what the safety car can... We'll see what it does in terms of strategy. Obviously, we've seen a few people pit, but those on the softs, it does help them a little bit, doesn't it? Because now they've got some time to let those softs cool down again, let them, not use all that tyre wear, so Jarno can go for a little bit longer with that more optimum pace on the soft. So this can definitely help the soft runners in this race, and also the hard runners. They can take them a little bit longer, go for a bit more of an overcut that they would have wanted to at the start, heading in towards the end of the race. So still, strategy is kind of in the air. We obviously got the 4 sufferers of Patrick, Ruben, Luke, and Kai down in 9th, down to P12. So we'll see if they can try and make any movements from the grid. But you'll see the likes of Ronara and Benjamin McConney also get very involved in this race. Once they got those mediums back up to grid, once they got them up to speed, they can just try and charge through and make some very key moves in this race. So still, I don't know which strategy is the best. They're all in their different ways, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely so. And you've got everyone, like I said earlier, I'm not surprised that we're seeing such a spread of tyre choices at the beginning of the race. So there are a few less mediums than the rest, which again, that's nothing nothing really that unusual. If you go mediums to start with, you're kind of, you're almost kind of the odd one out. You've got to either make them last very, very well and go into softs towards the end, or you shortchange the mediums with still plenty of life on them and go on the hards. Either way, that's a discussion for another day. Safety car is in. I can't really see that Philip's going to have any answer to the charging Jarno Ottmere when he gets to drop the hammer. That is, of course, the Alpine's decision. Everybody bunches up once more. See what next wave of chaos awaits. I'm going to watch from Chianakinti, because I think we're going to have quite a bit of action as we get this race back underway here in Interlagos.
Yeah, and we'll see how the start goes. So a very good start from Philip, but also a very good start from Jan Ottmere down towards turn 1. You can see Jarno getting that inside line immediately in towards that first corner. He's going to brake later, throw it to the inside. He should be ahead in towards turn 1. Yes, he will be. So Jan Ottmere leads the race here on lap 5:36 on that safety car restart. Everyone making it through in towards turns 1, 2, and 3 very nicely. Heading now down the Retro Reposta in towards the seat of the Lago. We can see Elfie Butcher looking to eye up on Shanaka Clay, who's also looking to get a move on Philip Pressure in towards turn 4, but no one could make a move through in towards that next part of the circuit. So looking further down, we can see the likes of Patrick Sarpach once again in it on the back of Reece Linton for PA. Obviously, he's on the soft, so he'll be a lot quicker than these on the hards. As the race progresses, we'll see if he can try and make a move, try and get himself ahead, and try and work his way up towards where he should be. Obviously, a lot of people said at the start that, a few people said he should win, so we'll see if he can win from the way back, from this far back from the grid. You can see just heading down in towards turn 10 and not really gaining as much as I thought he would do on the back of the Ferrari. Further back, we've got Duncan Hoffman battling with Xander Van Dijk, and obviously a hard runner versus a medium runner. We've also got Jay Benham on the brand new softs, trying to get himself ahead of the hard runner as well of Stan Van Dyke until he's John Say makes a move. This is where last time we got into contact. This time makes it through nicely. He's head back up the hill to begin the next lap. Lap 6 of 36. It's still Lumiano lead. He's got an 8/10 gap to pressure, and he wants to get to a second before the DRS enables, so he doesn't have that pressure behind. But look at all this behind. We've got Cheddar Kinch looking for a move. We've also got everyone ahead looking for moves, all trying to swap and change in towards turn. We're going nearly 3 wide in towards the first corner with the Williams and the 2, and that's going to be Ishmael Fassi in that championship lead around. Then at turn 1, come to contact with the McLaren of Cheddar Kinch. What a shame it is for Ishmael Fassi. This is key though for Jarno Uppbeat, as we can also see Ron Hart trying to make himself ahead of Kai Pearson, trying to get himself ahead of Ron Hart in towards turn 4. Gonna go around the outside, couldn't get it done there. Brilliant move there from Ron Hart to get himself into P11.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that's going to shake up the championship order somewhat if Ishmael's not able to recover from there. And it's not always the easiest circuit to overtake on, despite the fact there's a lot of corners. It's not necessarily too many very heavy braking zones. It's on the inside line. Luke Smith is defending against the reshot Thomas Ronhar. As the Alfa Romeo, they gets the inside line coming through. Beacon of Baton and Mugello still side by side coming towards Jun Xiao. Alpine on the inside. Alfa Romeo has got the momentum and the position. Up into the top 10 goes Ron Ha.
Absolutely brilliant move there from Thomas Ron to make the move ahead of Luke Smith. Further up we can see Progenio ahead of Reese Linton, who's down now to P9. Patrick Cepas in towards the top 6 now as they head back in towards that first corner. Can Chanakichi defend around there? So no, he can't. He's not got the pace on those minions to do so against the softs of Patrick. As we can see further back, the two Aston Martins coming to battle. That'll be Duncan and Kai. Heading through in towards turns 3 and 4. You can also see that's going to be Jake Benham getting in to try and make a move ahead of Kai Pearson. He gets to the inside of Kai. He's going to make the move down towards turn 4. Can he get the move completed is a question. Yes, he can get the move completed ahead of the Aston Martin. Now he's going to be looking to get himself ahead of Duncan Hoffland, who's also on 4 lap tyres, but he's on the set of mediums instead of the set of softs. Further back up, we can see yet again Chana Kidji trying to gain in on the back of Cypass. Cypass getting in on the back of Caraton as well as they head through towards turns 8 and 9. That's going to be Rislington back ahead of Ruben Virginia. It looks like a bit of lag there from the Alpha Terry. That's not ideal because it's also brought Ronhard back into it in towards turn 10. You can see lifting off, going for the inside move. Oh, Ruben's got some sort of lag. He's out. He's out. He's out. What's happened there?
That was a lag issue. Unfortunately, he kind of ghosted but reappeared inside someone else's car. So that really wasn't anybody's fault. From I literally just cut to Ruben as that happened. He was lagging very, very hard, and sadly, that has bitten him quite seriously. So in comes Jarno. He's going to get rid of those soft tires. This safety car's played right into his hands. Hard to the end, potentially, I would think. Well, we'll see what the champion chooses to do. And it is indeed hard tires for Jarno. Most of the field have come in. Shanaka Clay, Alfie Butcher, Duncan Offland, Jake Benham, Ben Sabaconi, and Daniel Kielsen have not opted to come in at the moment. So they're sticking to whatever plan they had in mind. They are sticking to it. But Jarno, he could well take those tires at the end. They won't be very happy with by the time they get there, but they will last that long. And looks like Chanakinchi has chosen the same kind of tactic. Will those medium runners last to the end? Well, I guess time will tell, or they're banking on another safety car. Wow. Jake Benham is kind of the odd one out. He's the only soft runner left in the top 10.
So Yaro and Chanakinchi are the only ones to go into set halves. I mean, they will try and get those to the end, I believe, in this race. Although some mediums cannot think just about getting them to the end. But obviously, Ron Har and Ishmael Fassi going for an interesting strategy. So they know that most of the drivers will have to pit again because of the tyres being dead. So they use the soft to try and push through the field and then pit along with everyone else. They could have a heavy advantage here. So this is key for Ron Hart and Ishmael Fassi to get it right in this next part of the race. So this could either be a win or a lose in terms of strategy for these two. And obviously you've got those on the mediums as well who will probably have to pit again, or probably will choose to pit again. I think after taking those tyres it will be, what, 27 laps or something like that. I think that's quite long to take a set of mediums in this race. Those at the front are still sticking to their strategies, still sticking to what the original plan was, which is obviously Jake on the mediums. We've got we've got Duncan, Bench, and Daniel on the mediums, and obviously we've got the top two, Shanaka and Alfie, on the set of the hards. So we'll see how far they take those tyres. But still, I think race on this race is going to be very interesting, obviously, with all those now on different strategies. Yet again, anyone can win as Kai Pearson's back into the pits.
Why is he in again? I will keep an eye on the Aston Martin to see why he's decided to come into the pits, having just been in. That's of course going to drop him to the tail of the field and keep the safety car out another lap. As a set of hards, so I wonder whether that was a mistake to change the mediums, or he's decided. I wonder whether he'd started on mediums. And well, no, he should have just gone onto the hards then if that was the case. Or he started on hards, went to mediums, but wanted to then go to the end of the race. So either way, whatever his decision on strategy was, I'm hopeless at trying to call strategies. That's why I try not to do it. But Kai Pearson then is going to put himself to the back of the field. He should be able to catch the back of the train before the safety car gets to the end of Sector 2. That's usually, or somewhere around then, is usually when the safety car announces it is coming in, if it is about to do so. Aston Martin now just coming through the Beacon of Pato as the safety car's just coming through Mugello. Now, is the safety car going to declare it is coming in this lap? Yes, it does. So the Aston Martin just about got there in time. We'll be racing once again in Interlagos.
Indeed, and one of the key drivers to watch here is going to be Jan Uppbeat down in P7 on those brand new hards. We'll see if he can try and get a bit of restart down some of those in the top 6. We're going to keep ourselves on board with the top 2, Shanaka Clay and Alfie Butcher, to see how this restart gets away for the two of them. We'll go on board with the Haas. And Shaka's gone very early. He caught Alfie very off guard there coming through in towards the final few corners. That gives Duncan Hovland also a really good launch down towards turn 1 along with Jake Benham hitting towards that first corner. Who will take P2 or who will even try and take P1? Because you can see Alfie trying to gain in. Is it enough into turn 1? No, it's not. To make a move ahead. And then we've got over a Carousel also to make a move ahead of Philip Pressure into turn 1. The Pole Sitter arguing with the Williams as they head through and towards turns 2 and 3. Philip's still going to be side by side with Alvaro heading out of turn 2 and 3. Down towards turn 4. Then the Retaposta. No one's going to make a move there. I think it'll still be Alvaro ahead. Philip's going to try and gain him back in, but not enough to make a move. Jake Benham ahead of Duncan Hoffland into turn 4 to make the move for P3 so far in this race. Further up, we can still see Duncan trying to gain back into the back of Jake. Is he not? He's going to be able to make a move to turn 6. No, he's not. He's not close enough there in towards that corner. Further back, we've still got Jona Uppmeer trying to gain in onto the back of Daniel Kjellson. Couldn't get the decent run on that start to make a move, but you can see he's going to be really dialed into that pace shortly. Once these hards get warmed up as Thomas Ronhard makes a move for P12.
Yeah, soft tyres on the Alfa Romeo. He's wanted to get on with business as Jake Benham makes another move on Alfie Butcher. Wow, Luke Smith just banzais the inside of Giannakinci as they're coming through Pico de Basso. Mugello now. So the Alpine with the tyre advantage over the McLaren. And again, as he smelled fast, he's just done the same thing to the McLaren. But Kinci's still on those hard tyres. Still on. He's only been on them 2 laps. What am I on about? So he has that tyre disadvantage up front. That's Jake Benham going up into the lead. Thomas Ronhard with the fastest lap of the race. He's got to get on with it as quick as he can, or at least before another safety car comes out. Ishmael Fassi gets Luke Smith. Still no DRS, of course, available. Here comes Duncan Hoffman. Is he going to try and make the move on Alfie Butcher? I don't think he had a choice there. I think the Haas just binned its battery to stay where he was, stay in touch with Shanaka Clay. As Ronhard gets another position. This time it's Patrick Sipos.
Yeah, brilliant move there from Ronhard to put himself now in back into the top and after making a pit stop earlier on for a set of softs. So he's going to try and yet again work his way through the field and try and make moves when he can up the inside of Pressure in towards turn 8. That's a bit of a send. And can he make it work? Because Pressure's got a decent run towards turn 9. But no, that allows Patrick Boss to try and make that move back ahead of Ronhard into turn 10. You can see Ronhard taps the back of Pressure. They go 3-1 on the exit of turn 10 into turn 11. 3 wide between these three. Who's going to come out ahead? It'll be Seaboss ahead of Ronhard, I think. But Pressure has still got the inside into turn 12. He can't make the move there. Ronhard goes a little bit off circuit. That allows Pressure to Reese Linton, Ishmael Fassi all to get involved down towards turn 1 they go again, and now Ishmael Fassi into P12. He's going to look for a move ahead of the LP to the inside. He gets sent off track barely in towards turn 1. He's going the inside line back again in towards 1. We can see Ronhard back on the outside in towards turn 1 as well to try and make the move around the outside of Patrick. Sipos gets the move, does he? They still go side by side. Patrick goes off track. Ronhard to the outside. Fassi now going to be looking to make a move down towards turn 4. He can't make a move there. He's going to be trying to gain into the back of the slipstream and that Alpha Terry. Can he get the move done around the outside? He's going to try and squeeze it. No, he can't. A little bit too far back for now. But Ronhard, absolutely brilliant racing between all those guys.
That's dropped them dangerously close to getting out of DRS range to the top 8, though. So Thomas Ronhard just hanging on to that second gap, but only just. He was threatening to have dropped outside of DRS range. He just about hung on to it, but he's fighting very hard. A couple of times I thought he was a little bit too desperate. The moves the Alfa Romeo was doing. But either way, he is up into 9th position now, and he has closed in on the top of the field. Ruben Pedreño, his PC crashed. That's why. That is why he suddenly was having lag issues and suddenly then found himself into the wall. So that's so unfortunate. Nothing he could have done. And even if it wasn't that, there really was nothing anybody else could have done as Shanaka Clay leapfrogs Jake Benham again. DRS overtake into turn 1. But now as the momentum swings back towards the Mercedes, how much tyre life has he got left in those soft tyres? He's had them on for 10 laps. They won't have a lot of meat on them. DRS open for Jake Benham. He's not gone for the move. How much? Well, quite a varying amount of battery amount as oh wow, as Daniel Kielsen gets a little bit muscled out of 5th place by Ben Sabakonyi coming through the Descida de Largo 4 and 5. So many positions up for grabs. So close. Oh no, Kielsen's gone into the back of Sabakonyi.
Oh, that's a big show there for Sabakonyi off the circuit there. Going to come back on down in P11. Kielsen had a bit of a lock-up. Luckily, I think no one got damaged. I think Jarno got caught up somewhere as well in that, trying to avoid all the action. He's now back into the top 5 ahead of Daniel. He's got a 17th gap to Duncan, so he's going to try and gain back into those ahead. Well, you can see Daniel's very desperate to keep that position as they're heading towards turn 12. Further back, we can see that'll be Luke Smith making a move ahead of Ben Sabakonyi. Obviously, Ben Sabakonyi's on the 10-lap old mediums. He'll be losing a lot of time off at this point in the race. Now, Seaposh again looking for moves. Ron Haar also looking for a move ahead of Kielsen. Has also been got Alvaro Council involved with that as well as they all head down to turn 1. Can Ron Haar make 2 moves into one corner? He's going to try and stretch it if he can. He does go to the inside. Gets a move ahead of the Red Bull. Now he's going to try and get himself ahead of the Williams as they head through turns 2 and 3. Going to have a decent run down towards turn 4. Going to burn a bit of battery on the back of Alvaro Council. Can he make the move in towards turn 4? And I think he's close enough to make the move. He's not gaining, he's not really using much battery at all to try and get eager enough to get ahead of Williams. So we'll see if he can try and get it done in the corners. On the exit, you can see he'll have better pace on those 6-lap old soft tyres. He's making these work very nicely along with Ismail Fassi. Remember, got knocked down the field at the on the first few laps. He was down to P17. It was pretty much this race. He was 3 seconds back. That safety car really helped him to work his way back through the field. You can see he's going side by side with Daniel Jansen towards turn 8 as well. Daniel's got the inside line at turn 9. It'll be the inside at turn 10 for Fassi. And he's trying to get the move done along with Seapost as well, trying to make a move ahead of the Red Bull. And we can see it's going to be Rieslington trying to set up the move to try and get something done on the exit. Can't do so there. So Fassi ahead of Jelsen. Now you're going to have Seapost trying to get around the outside. Goes off circuit, and that allows Rieslington to try and gain as well in towards that corner. That was very close to nearly spinning the car right for Seapost. Went onto that curve. That is a curve you do not want to touch, and luckily the car kept itself within its limits. Right, back to the front. Jarno Opmeer looking for a move ahead of Duncan Hofland into turn 1.
Absolutely bonkers stuff. Seapost and Seapost and Kielsen swap round. Shanaka Clay and Hofland swap round as well. They're still having an argument through the centre S's. Now onto the rest of the poster. Hofland has lost momentum. So how many is he going to lose here? Jarno is there involved in the argument. Ron Haar is now steaming through on those soft tyres. Nearly has his nose chopped off. Jarno up into 3rd now. Shanaka Clay's lost another. Duncan Hofland's not done. Here comes Clay and Hofland on the back of... I can't even get the names out quick enough, let alone anything else. It is absolutely bonkers. So many positions being fought for, but Jarno Opmeer with what seemed like a very contra strategy up into 3rd position. Ron Haar and Hofland side by side as they're coming up to the Beacon de Pato. The Aston Martin trying to outbreak the soft shot Alfa Romeo. Still side by side down through Mugello. Jun Xiao now, just Ron Haar still on the outside line. Is this going to disadvantage him? Well, he's still got the tyre advantage, and no, Thomas Ron Haar manages to muscle 5th from Hofland, but Hofland now with the momentum, can he counterattack? DRS open for what seems like everybody. Side by side, all over the place. Alvaro Carreton is involved in that particular battle.
You can see on Opmeer take Peter away from Alvaro Butchering towards that first corner. Brilliant move there by the Mercedes. Now it's a Mercedes 1-2 in this race. Jake Vanner can work very well with his teammate in to kind of hold everyone up behind. Lots of Alfie, Shanaka. We've got obviously Ron Haar involved with this as well. Further back, we've got Carreton looking for a move ahead of Duncan Hofland to the outside line. Can he make the move in towards turn 4? He's going to have that outside line. He's going to have better pace into the corner. They make contact in towards that 4th corner. They disappear. They're back onto our screen. It's going to be Duncan ahead of Alvaro. And now Patrick Seapost yet again getting involved in towards turn 6. He will be making moves. A bit of contact nearly between Seapost and Alvaro. Duncan goes wide. Bit of contact still into turn 8. Can Alvaro get the move up the inside along with his teammate Ishmael Fassi making a move on the AlphaTauri. Patrick Seapost in towards turn 8. They go back into turn 9 now as they all fall through 2-1 in towards turn 10 yet again. Everyone battling for position. Ishmael Fassi, bit of a send on the Aston Martin. He makes that move work. You can see as well Rieslington getting involved round the outside. It'll be Ishmael Fassi on the back of Duncan Hofland. Can he get the move done into turn 12? He's got the outside line. He's got the better soft tyres. Can he make that move work? No, he can't. But he's got to switch back up the inside at the exit at John Sao in towards turn 1. Brilliant there from the Williams of Ishmael Fassi, but Duncan Hofland's going to stick right with him. He's got the DRS down to turn 1. Jarno Opmeer takes the lead ahead of his teammate, and now it's Jake's job to hold everyone up into turn 1.
My goodness me, absolutely crazy. 2 cars into the pits, Seapost and Smith have both come in a little more far earlier than I was expecting. Is this damage on the car? Well, Luke Smith goes for a fresh set of mediums. No front wing needed for him. I think the same for Cepas. I didn't quite catch his pit stop. As Janakinchi and Daniel Kjursen swap round for 11th position. Yeah, easy overtake for Jarno Opmeer. Yet exactly to say, Richie, but that's going to be Benham playing rear gunner for his teammate. Those soft tyres are probably going to be screaming by now. 14 laps on those. They aren't going to go too much further before they want to explode. But in the meantime, that's nearly DRS gone for the rest of the field. Jarno Opmeer, again, with the help of his teammate, has absolutely pulled a blinder.
Yeah, as we can see as well, that's going to be Reece Linton around the outside at Duncan Houghton. Could have made the move work there. Going to have to look for it down towards turn 1. You've got Sander van Dyken also sitting in that contention with that battle for P8 as they all fly down back towards turn 1. But you can see Jake's now got a 1.3 second gap to his teammates, so no DRS now for Jake Benham. There'll be DRS for all those behind. We've got Shaneka Clare making the move ahead of Alfie Butcher, also trying to make the move ahead of Jake into turn 1. Alfie's got the move, he's got the inside line on Jake, but could Jake try and hold around the outside? No, he can't. He's going to be stuck behind as they head through now in towards turns 2 and 3. But Jake's got a decent exit on the back of Alfie Butcher. Can he try and fight back down towards turn 4? Is the question. He's got the DRS. You've got Shaneka Clare flying through ahead of the Mercedes into towards turn 4. He sticks behind the back of Alfie Butcher. Jake's back up the inside trying to defend as he can. The Red Bull not having any of it and gets himself back ahead of Benham now. Ron Hart looking to make a move around the outside if he can. No, because he's got to stick it up the inside. No, he has to back out for now on the back of the Mercedes heading through in towards turn 8. Can he send it? Yes, he does send it on the back of the Mercedes. Jake's going to try and defend it into turn 9. It's got the inside line for Jake. It's got the inside line for Ron Hart though at turn 10 at this rate. And they give it a contact. Big slide for Benham as they head into turn 10. And it will be Ron Hart ahead and now with Alvaro Carreton looking to try and stick his nose through as well ahead of the Mercedes. Can't do so there, and now Jake trying to defend, but nothing seems to be working. His tyres are absolutely shot.
Yeah, those tyres are done, but he did the job he needed to do. He gave Jarno Opmeer the opportunity to just disappear into the sunset. So that doesn't mean the winner's guaranteed, but it's certainly given an advantage. Into the pits comes Jake Benham. His work is done. Ismail Farsi has followed him in along with Sander van Dyken. So 3 into the pits then to get rid of some very, very dead tyres. Thomas Ronhard, the lead soft runner, now up into 4th. Staring at the back of Shanaka Clay. I suspect Alfie Butcher is going to be absolutely mugged here. DRS open for the Red Bull of Shanaka, but he's staying where he is, trying to get some battery back in the ARS. So we'll see if he's able to build that back up. Turn 4 is as good a place as any. You don't have, like I said before, you don't have too many very heavy braking zones. You have a lot of very small ones, but you use more energy than you regain by those little braking zones. So energy management is a bit more of a factor here. So Ron R close to the back of Clay. Again, the tyre advantage has gone from the Alfa Romeo. He can't just carve his way through the field as he's been enjoying thus far. But then saying that, 18-lap-old hard tyres are not going to be able to offer too much resistance. Here comes Ron R, dumping the battery to get past the Red Bull. Is it going to nail the Haas as well? Huge overspeed for Thomas Ronhart. Shanaka Clay makes Alfie Butcher's day even worse. And that's Carrington and Ben Sabakonyi now into the pits.
We can see as well, Reece Linton also losing time to the back of that battle for P4. We've got Duncan Hoffman, Chanakin, Shikai Pearson involved in this train for P5 at the moment in this race. But that's what we can see. Alfie Butcher's gaining. Can he make a move on the ahead of Shanaka Clay? No, he can't. He sits behind as they head in towards turn 4. Duncan Hoffman sticking behind the back of Reece Linton as well as they head in towards turn 4 as well. Obviously, Alvaro went into pits along with Ben Sabakonyi. Bent onto a set of soft tyres, so he's going to take those considerably long in this race unless he wants to pit again. I wouldn't see why he would have gone to a set of softs here at this point in the race. At 16 laps, he's got to take a set of softs in this race. Also, we can see Alvaro went onto a set of mediums along with everyone else who pitted, obviously, lots of Luke, Patrick, and all those down, who also made a pit stop onto a new set of medium tyres. But it's going to be down to see what Jarno Opmeer can do. The gap between the recent pitter, which will be Luke Smith, and Jarno Opmeer will be... That's 18 seconds. So Jarno's going to he's got 16 laps, if he doesn't pit again, of course, to defend 18 seconds from Luke Smith. I think that's possible, but those tyres will start to die for Jarno Opmeer probably very soon.
Well, we will see. In comes Ronhart. He's done what he can on those soft tyres, and along with Reece Linton. Both come in at this point in time. I wonder whether Ronhart's going to go for another set of soft tyres, actually. As Ben Sabakonyi's gone soft. No, he's decided to go mediums. Certainly the safer option. Ben Sabakonyi's gone to soft tyres. That's a they'll do it, but again, they won't be very happy when they get there. But with the cars being a bit lighter, it's a bit more of a feasible option. Alfie Butcher getting close to Shanaka Clay, but nowhere to make a move as they come up towards the S's once more.
We got Nick Smith trying to get himself ahead, or at least defend from Practice Sleepos. They're heading down out towards turn number 6. There's an 11-second gap there to Kai Pearson between those two cars battling. We've also got Jake Benham defending from Ishmael Fassi behind as well as they head in towards turn 8 shortly. We'll see. Can Jake try and defend from the flying Spaniard here in this race? Obviously, Ishmael Fassi, we know he's our championship leader here in WOR Tier 1. He's got a 16-point gap to Jarno Uppbeat, so for him, his main thing is just to finish ahead of Jarno Uppbeat. Obviously, Otis Lawrence, who was third in the championship, 4 points back from Jarno, won't be scoring points here today. He had an incident on the opening in a couple of laps, and he is out of this race. So now all Ishmael needs to focus on is finishing ahead of Jarno Uppbeat. Duncan Hoffland is a bit off of his medium tyres. We'll see what he picks on. Surely it will be mediums for Duncan in this race so far. They head back down towards turn 1. We can see the two LPs. It's Patrick and Luke, teammates over at the LP and Esports. We'll see, does Luke get himself back ahead? Yes, he does. These two working together in this race. Jake Benham also got Ishmael Fassi still closing in behind. They've gained within a second of Patrick and Luke. So that's key for Jake and Ishmael in this race, along with Daniel, Alvaro, Thomas, Xander, all in this battle now for P6 down. They've all kept themselves within a second victory, so no one's losing out to DRS. They've all got it to pull each other along. We can see, obviously, the two Alpines getting close in towards the next corner. Obviously, Patrick and Luke getting very close, but obviously, they're not going to fight too hard. There's no point in it at this point in the race. But back to what we can see. Alfie and Shanaka taking these tyres, 21 laps in this race, taking them quite long. They'll be pitting shortly, I hope, in this race for a new set of tyres, unless they want to go very long and go into a set of softs, because that is possible, but it depends how long they want to go on these hards.
They'll lose a lot of time by doing it, and they won't have enough time to make that gap up, I would think. But yeah, whatever strategy they are sticking to, that's still the starting tyres, you got to remember, for Shanaka and Alfie. Shanaka is in, Alfie is not. So what does the Red Bull choose to do? Will it be Red Bull tyres? Well, like we said, they will get there. No, it's a set of mediums, so it is definitely the safer option. You can just absolutely banzai the next, 13 and a half laps. Ron with the fastest lap, because he has got very fresh tyres on. He's in 11th at the moment with a whole raft of traffic ahead of him. But this raft of traffic sees him up to Patrick Cepos, I believe. Yes, it does. Ozzy is now wrestling his way past Kielsen. He's positioned himself nicely, gets the inside line for turn 4, gets 10th place. So this DRS train is, like I say, behind Patrick Cepos in 5th position. Now this is going to be the biggest challenge to Jarno Uppbeat. Is Jarno going to try and see out those tyres to the end?
I don't think he can.
Well, again, time...
Because look at the gap, it's 12 seconds now. It was 18 earlier on. Surely not.
Well, surely not, but if he's going to pit, he needs to do it now.
Yeah, definitely. Unless he wants to go for a set of softs, because he'll lose less time pitting later on if he can go for a set of softs. And then if he can pit, just say 3 laps time, go to a set of softs, he doesn't pit this lap round. Alfie Butcher will pit onto a new set of tyres. I think that will also be, will Chenekinch or Kai Pearson pit? No, they stay out at the moment. So the gap between Jarno and the rest is going to be, unless I was wrong, it must be about 12 seconds, mustn't it? The gap to leader, it'll be... we can see Luke pop back onto our screens, 12.9 seconds. So that gap has come down by 6 seconds in 3 laps. So Jarno, I don't think, can hold this off whatsoever. Chenekinch closing into the back of Kai Pearson. Patrick Cepos moving to the inside of Luke Smith. We can see further back we've got Ishmael Fassi getting into the back of Jake Benham as well. In towards turn 4. No moves being made on this occasion between those drivers. As we can see, Jake Benham, he's also keen to try and catch up to the back of Patrick Cepos as well. You saw Jake, you know, he was over a second back on his pit stop. He's now within 2/10 of the 2 guys ahead. Obviously, 7-lap old tyres for Luke and Patrick, 5-lap old tyres for Jake Benham. He has a considerable advantage here in this race. So it's about when he tries to make the overtake. I don't think it's going to be if, it'll be when. As we can also see Ron Hart involved in this as well on his 3-lap old lead. So he could also be in a better position than all these ahead.
Yeah, by the time the checkered flag is looming, that's, Thomas Ronhart will have the opportunity to strike. What we're also going to bear in mind is how much these guys are just going to stay in this train to gain back the energy in their ERS, because that's going to be one of the biggest differentiating factors. Cepos and Benham have gone past Luke Smith because, of course, Luke had no DRS. Oh, wow, as Ishmael Fassi barges his way past. Oh, Ronald tries to get the pair of them. Goes in the center S. It's a brave 3 wide coming through turn 3. They're still 3 wide. Oh, that could have gone horribly wrong, but Thomas Ronald is in a bid to try and get past Smith and Fassi at the same time. Can he do it? He's going to have to burn quite a bit of energy. He's nearly used all his ERS. He had about 40% at the beginning of the lap. It's now in single figures, but that's Ronhar up into 6th.
Yeah, that was a brilliant move there from Ronhar. Now we've got Ishmael Fassi up the inside of Luke Smith in towards turn 8. Inside at turn 9 for Luke Smith. Can Ishmael Fassi trying to keep it around the outside to get himself the inside of the next corner at turn 10 at Biko to Pato. He's got the inside line. He's got the better run into the corner. He's going to keep it ahead though. Luke's got the inside at turn 11 at Magelio. Can he get himself ahead? No, he can't. No, he can't. Sorry. Ishmael Fassi's back into P7 now ahead of Luke Smith. And well, that medium strategy for Luke and Patrick going a little bit later, earlier, might not have worked because they're losing heaps of time to those ahead and those behind. As we can see, Jake Benham now starting to get in on the back of Patrick into turn 1. He's got the outside line. He's got a really good run in towards turn 1 along with Ronhar as well, trying to catch up. Can he make a move into turn 1? No, he can't. He's still behind just for now. But Luke Smith also, you can see starting to lose time to over a Carrot on that gap. 2 tenths, coming down to turns 2 and 3. We can see Over gaining very quickly on the back of the Alpine. Down to turn 4. Can't find a move just yet on the back of Luke Smith, but that move will be inevitable. Very shortly, I need to get my words out here. As we can see, Xander Van Dyken trying to make a move ahead of Daniel Kelton, who's still doing a decent job in this race. Now, my thoughts are still were. What's that move between him? Was it him who was involved with Otis at turn 1? I think it was, wasn't it? I think it was Daniel. Wasn't it?
Was. Yeah. I've forgotten. Yes, it was Kelton. Yes.
So I couldn't remember. I didn't think it was Shanaka or Yelton, but obviously with that concept down there. The bad thing for Johnson could be if that was his, fault, that could be a penalty. If not, it's fine. But he's still got that thing behind him of, is it going to be a penalty? Is it going to be? That could cost him decent points in this race because everyone is pretty much within a second of each other. You can see Duncan ahead of Bencham Connie. That soft strategy not really working for him at all in this race. As we can see, Ronhar gaining in on Jake Benn. The gap's 4.5 seconds to Kai Pearson. As we can see, obviously that gap's going to flood and they'll probably get past unless they decide to pit in this race. Yana Uppbeat is also there, got an 8-second gap to those guys. So Yana's going to, he's going to pit soon, hasn't he, really? He's leaving it out quite loud. I thought he would have pitted probably last lap or the lap before. Patrick Seepers gets a 3-second penalty in this race. Big shame out for Patrick. That could put him out the points at this rate because look how close everyone is all the way down towards P11. We can see as well a poll in the chat saying, who do you think will win? Yano, Jake, Thomas or other? Obviously, if it's another person, comment below who you think will take victory. We've got, 9 laps left to go. It could be anyone in this grid at this point. Let us know in the chat who you think will take victory. Chris, are you still sticking with who you picked at the start?
I am indeed. I'm sticking with Ronhar.
And I don't think I picked anyone, did I? I'm going to pick Ishmael Fassi.
If you did, I can't remember. There's so much has happened in this race. Philip Bracenader, I think that's the second time. Actually, how many times has he been in? That's the third time he's been in the pits.
So that's not
I know at least one of those was a fresh front wing, and I think he just had the same again.
Yeah, that's a big shame, isn't it, for Philip? He's 23 seconds back. He was on pole earlier on, but it just seems like the race never goes to plan for him at all. So big shape. We'll see if he can do anything. As we can see, that's going to be Ishmael Fassi up the inside of Patrick Seepers into turn 1. Kai Pearson getting a move ahead of Channa. Key to that gap, though, to Ronhar has come down by 1.5 seconds on that last lap alone. Jake Benham sticking in to the rear of Ronhar as they exit out turns 2 and 3. We could see further back as well. That's going to be a move made, I think, by Xander Van Dyken ahead of Daniel Kelton for P10 in this race. Daniel's still going to try and fight back down to turn 4. But a contact between the two. Oh, that could have ended even worse than it did. I don't think Xander thought Daniel was right there. They head into turn 4. Daniel back ahead of Xander. Further ahead, we can see Alvaro trying to get himself back ahead of Luke Smith. It's 3-lap tie difference between the two. Alvaro should easily be able to get himself ahead in towards P8. Further up, Seepos still sticking to the back of Ishmael Fassi, but Isma, I think, should easily be able to get himself ahead of Jake Benham because you can see he's still bringing that gap down and down and down as the laps unfold. And the good thing for Ronhar is, if those ahead don't pick, Ronhar could get himself a bit of DRS down towards turn 1, which could heavily help him in the next couple of laps.
Well, all questions will be answered as Clay and Van Dijk are still side by side. Contact with the Red Bull sends Shinaka Clay wide, but he manages to survive another day. Whether that gave him a warning for track extending, who knows? But Van Dijk didn't gain as a result of it as Kimchi and Pearson continue their game of leapfrog for what is currently second, but they are going to get real popular real quick as the Ronhar train that is right behind them is closing in quick. We've been seeing it lap after lap after lap. What have we got? 6.5 laps left, if you're arguing, with 6 seconds between Ronhar and Uppbeat. But Ronhar, with his tyres in prime, and Uppbeat, his tyres are hanging on for dear life. He's committed now. There'll be no point in Yano pitting for softs now. He's decided to ride this one to the end. So, I mean, I guess Riano could pit now, but he'd be well out of the points. He has a possibility of trying to defend for some points. if he remains where he is. Either way, he's committed to it. I suspect he's going to be out there on very, very dead tires. But if anyone can make it work, it is Jarno Opmeer.
Well, we'll see what he can do. I think pitting now will be too late. There's only 7 laps left. I don't think it'd be worth it now. So he's got to stick to this strategy. There's what? 6 laps left in this race. He's going to take those tyres 27 laps in this Grand Prix, which is absolutely just bonkers, isn't it? To take the tyres that long in a race. So we can see Kai Pearson ahead of Chanakichi, but I think Jarno's also hoping that Kai and Chan can kind of hold Ron up on his tracks to try and get ahead, because you can see that gap's coming down constantly. If Kai and Chan can at least somewhat hold Ron Har and Jake, that could still be in Jarno's favour. If not, I can't see Jarno really defending the move from Ron Har and Jake and Ishmael behind, because they're absolutely fine, aren't they, to put on these tyres. The tyres are old, but compared to Jarno's, they're brand new. So we'll see what those guys can do. Further back, we've still got lots of Alvaro trying to get ahead of Luke Smith. All that battling behind, I think Jarno should be able to defend against some of those guys. I think Jarno's still on for points, as long as he doesn't make a mistake. That's all he's got to be careful of. You can see Ron Har, though, back into the second now of Chanakichi, who's got himself within DRS range. Now, this is key for Ron Har to try and dispatch these two as quickly as possible. Don't send silly moves. Look for it when the move's possible, because it will be. It's just about if you can get the timing right and get ahead of the McLaren and the Aston Martin. Jake and Ishmael also looking to defend as looking to attack as well to get themselves ahead. As you can see, Alfie Butcher ahead of Daniel, Shinaka ahead of Alvaro Carlton as well, to put themselves into better positions in this race. But you can see Ron Har has already got himself within 2/10. There's surely nothing that Chanakichi can do here.
Bit of ARS on the exit of Jun Shao for Ron Har. He doesn't want to make the move here. He wants to nail both of them on the retro poster, as again Akinci gets past Kai Pearson. Nearly into the back. Well, he just gives the Aston Martin a bit of a nudge to Ron Har. Now is when Thomas Ron Har will just want to dump the battery. He wants to clear these two as quick as he can. Goes to the outside line. I wondered if he was going to be boxed in behind Akinci then. But he's just blasted past the pair of them. He's used a fair amount of his ERS and continued to do so. Single figures again for Thomas Ron Har as far as the battery's concerned. It is now just a straight fight between Ron Har and Opmeer. Opmeer is going to fall into the clutches of Thomas Ron Har. The question is how quickly, because Jarno Opmeer nearly has a full battery, and that's pretty much all. That's the only defensive weapon Opmeer has left. He can't rely on his tires. I mean, he's the one of the best of the best. We know this. That's stating the obvious as in the nth degree. But Opmeer is on an absolute charge. There's no love lost between these two. And Ron Har and Opmeer will give it everything. 5 to go. We're on for an absolute stormer.
We are, and then we can see Jake Benham trying to get himself ahead of Chanakichi and Kai Pearson into turn 1. He wants to sit with Ron Har, doesn't he? He wants that DRS advantage down towards that first corner. He gets up the inside of Kai, gets himself into the top 3 yet again in this race. Now, he's got that DRS to Ron Har. That is key. He wants that 1 second gap. He wants that extra advantage down towards turn number 4. We can see Fassi also trying to get ahead of the McLaren. Gets that move. Duncan get ahead of Kai into turn 4. He breaks later to the inside. Yes, he does. Brilliant move there from Ishmael Fassi. Remember, these two, Jarno and Ishmael, are fighting for the championship. It's 16 points separating the two. Coming into this race, if it was to finish like this, the gap will be, I think, about 4-5 points. So this is key for Ishmael. He needs to get some positions. He needs to get ahead of Jake or Thomas, or even Jarno will be his best bets here in this race here at Brazil. All those behind, I don't think they can do much at all. I think the battle is between Jarno, Thomas, Jake and Ishmael for the win here tonight in WRT1. We can see Butcher looking to get in on Luke Smith to get himself ahead in towards P9. He's got the outside line into turn 12. Can he get it done? He's got the outside line. He's going to keep the outside. He's going to keep it at turn 12. He gets the entry. He gets the exit he needs. Brilliant move there from the Haas to bob himself comfortably into the points now, into P9 ahead of Luke Smith. Can Luke try and fight back with some DRS down to turn 1? He could do. He's got the inside line on Alfie. Alfie blocks the position off. It's going to be Luke. That's his side. That's going to be over a Carrot to the outside line to pop himself ahead of both of them into turn 1. P9 for overall in this race, and constantly, Chris, everyone's swapping and changing positions. You can't ever tell everyone, because Luke Smith could be in P11 one lap. Next lap, he could be in P6.
Absolutely true. So he said earlier that Jarno had no defensive weapons left. That's wrong. He still has Jake Benham. Jake's still in a position where he can make Thomas Ron Har's life that little bit more awkward for him. There's only a couple of laps difference between the tyres, between the Alfa Romeo and the second Mercedes. So Jake is constantly pestering Ron Har. He'll lose that momentum he needs to chase off after Ron Har, after Opmeer, as Reese Linton, who sadly hasn't had the race that we kind of hoped he would, has added his name to the penalty board. 3 and a bit laps to go. There's just about 2.7 seconds between Ron Har and Opmeer. Oh, how's it going to go? Optimus surely is going to be limping on those tyres pretty soon.
The thing is, Jarno's only lost 3 tenths on that last lap. It was 3 seconds, wasn't it? I think give or take a 10. It's only 2.7, so actually, I think Jarno might have it. Jake's going to go for a move. No, he sits back, so Jake's going to sit back behind now. I think Jarno actually might have this here in this race. Unless he makes a big mistake, I think Jarno's got this covered. We can see further back, we've got Shanaka Clay ahead of Chanakiji for P5. We've also got Patrick Cepas getting in, and we've got Alvaro Caraton also getting in to make a move for P5. I think the biggest battles, really, are between Thomas and Jake, and then all these behind battling for P6 down towards P12 at this point. We've got Reece Linton looking for a move ahead of Luke Smith. Obviously, he got a penalty on the last lap, so he's also going to be losing more positions in this race due to that 3-second penalty. But Ishmael Fassi as well, he's getting in on Jake. So these final laps could be absolutely immense between these 4 drivers, unless Jarno makes a big mistake. I think he's got it. Genuinely, because that gap's 2.3. It's coming down, but is it enough? We can see them coming through towards turn 10. We can see Shanaka Clay. He wants that 1 second gap. He's got it. To Ishmael Fassi. He's going to... Oh, no, he's not. He's dropped back out. He's in, out. Check it all about for Shanaka Clay. So far with the DRS here at this point in the race. But we're going towards the penultimate lap of the race. It's Jarno Opme on 26 lap old hards, leading ahead against Thomas Ronahart on 13 lap old mediums. Oh, we'll see. Down towards turn 1, a 2.4 second gap. Jake Benton to the inside of Ronahart. Can he make the move to turn 1? Yes, he can. You can see Ishmael Fassi getting in as well. This is key. Benham needs to defend.
Yeah, but what's he going to be able to defend with? He's just given Ronahart DRS. He's just disadvantaged his teammate in a way, unless Ronahart doesn't go for the move. In fact, he doesn't. And Fassi now dives the inside. That was not in Ronhart's plan. Ishmael Fassi has just sent Ronhart out of the podium positions as for some reason Praise is in the pits again.
What is happening behind? Look at this, Chris. P7 to P13. Oh my. They're all flying off track here at turn 8.
Oh my goodness me. It is all no holds barred here in Interlagos. It very rarely ever is anything other than no holds barred. Side by side all over the place. Oh my goodness me. Reece Linton and Daniel Kielson have Reece Linton and Luke Smith are arguing for their spot inside the top 10. You may well be right. Jarno may well have done enough as he comes round to start the final lap.
Oh, Cepas!
Cepas!
Oh, he's retired.
Oh,
he's just clicked retired from the stage. So Ishmael Fassi takes second position ahead of Jake Benham in towards turn 1. Ronhart looking to get in as well. He's got the better time, so surely he should be the one looking to make the move. So it's Ishmael Fassi in second. Jarno Opme, he's going to take this victory at this point. It's a 1.8 second gap. As you can see, Jake Benham getting back in. Can he try and take P2? He'll go to the Epsilon line. Can he get it ahead of Ishmael? Ishmael's back to the inside. Ronhart's watching all this unfold. Ishmael keeps moving ahead of Jake Benham as they head down now in towards turn number 6. Ronhart's gaining. It's not going to be enough to make a move in towards turn 6 whatsoever. But the key thing is, Jake's going to have DRS down towards the line. Ishmael's going to have nothing, so this could even change even more. In this race, Shanaka Clay is also getting in. He's got 13 lap old tyres, so it's 5 lap better tyres than the second and third positions at this point. So the race is still not over between anyone. Here, second down to P5, but back to the front. Jarno Opme, what a race this has been. Started on the soft after starting in P8. He went to the hard. He thought, right, everyone's on mediums. No, I'm going to go different. It's going to work heavily here for him today. 28 laps completed on the hard tyres. It'll be Jarno Opme who wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Absolute superb. Back to the battle for second. Will it be Jake? Will it be? Will it be Jake who takes second? Ronhart to the line. Ronhart jumps Ishmael Fassi for P3. What a battle line. 7,000 separating Ronhart and Fassi. What a battle to the line. But it's Jarno Opme. It's Jake in P2. It's the Mercedes 1-2 here at Interlagos.
Wow. What an incredible finish to the race. Jarno Opme just doing Jarno things and played the strategy brilliantly well. But Jake Benham, wow, that is absolutely incredible. Just absolutely storm through at the right time to get that Mercedes 1-2. Thomas Ronhart was my bet for the top spot. Still managed to get that podium. Oh, Ishmael Fassi, what could have been. Oh, what could have been for so many people. Luke Smith has binned it, I just realised, on the exit of turn 3 on the previous lap. What a race!
Absolutely phenomenal. We can see the gaps. Look at that. Second to fifth, separated by just over 0.3 of a second. That was absolutely magnificent. That was absolutely brilliant. We can see pressure just coming through towards turn 4. Oh.
He wasn't, well, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, Preston is still driving at least, unless there's an issue with the session. I'm not quite sure because it does say we're migrating host. Obviously, Luke Smith did DNF at, I believe it was turn 3, so we'll see Preston end his lap. But that was absolutely magnificent. It's going to be Jarno, Jake, and Thomas, the top 3. Hopefully, we get to have an interview from at least one of them because it would be brilliant to hear how those races went. Philip, though, just exiting his final run in towards turn 11 and 12, and we'll see what ended what could have been a brilliant race. He was on pole. Ahead of, it would have been Thomas Ronhart, and he'll be finishing in P16, unfortunately, in this race for Presneda. Not a good day at the Alpine camp. It was 15, 16, 17, 18 for the 4 drivers down at Alpine. We can see that is the race concluded, but what a race that was. Absolutely magnificent. We'll look at the final classification, and then we'll head to see if we can get anyone for an interview.
Ay, ay, ay. That was something spectacular. So, before Stewart's intervention, and I suspect there is going to be, we will see. But Jarno Watmere, Stewart's intervention or not, it isn't going to involve him. Absolutely superb stuff. Jake Benham 2nd, Thomas Ronhart 3rd, Ishmael Fassi in 4th, Shinaka Clay in 5th, Carroton 6th, Butcher 7th, Kai Pearson 8th, Janikitty 9, and Daniel Kielsen rounding out the top 10. With Duncan Offland 11, Xander Van Dijk in 12, Reese Linton 13, Ben Sabakonyi 14, Philip Preschneider with seemingly more laps than everybody else, down in 15th position. We lost in the course of the race Luke Smith, Patrick Seapass, Ruben Pedreño, Otis Lawrence, and Eastran Picker. What actually happened to Eastran? I don't actually remember what happened to him.
At the start, he got into contact with someone, didn't he? So obviously DNF'd on that opening. I think it was the opening lap he DNF'd, unless he did it in the pits. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, but good news. We've got someone in the interview, which will be Jarno with me. So we'll drag him up very shortly, and we'll have a word with our race winner. Jarno, welcome in. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
So, absolutely mega race today, obviously. You started in 8, wasn't the most ideal, wasn't it, coming out of qualifying? You started on the softs. Was the plan originally, with that, obviously with the safety car, regardless, to take those hards, 28 laps in the race?
No, it was not.
And did you think it was going to work? Because that gap, I'd say probably the mid-stint when you use about 20 laps, that gap was flying down, but near the end, it kind of slowed down, didn't it, heavily?
Yeah, I knew they were going to gain a lot in the initial laps, and then it was going to drop off somewhere with like 8 laps to go. I wasn't sure if it was actually going to work. I was managing my tires a lot, obviously, in that whole stint, which wasn't easy because in the beginning I was in a lot of traffic. You know, I had to make moves as well because I didn't want to get swallowed up by the field. And yeah, I just didn't wanted to get any chances of a puncture later on. So that's why I managed quite a lot and why the gap closed down really fast around those laps. But yeah, I just want to stay under the 70% mark. After that, you have a risk of getting punctures. Yeah, did that, and then still had a little bit of margin left in the end. Not enough, but yeah, it did keep me on my heels in the last few laps.
So how far do you think you was away from a puncture? Do you think it was just a couple more laps, or do you think you could have gone a little bit longer?
It's hard to say because it is random. It seems to be after 70%. So I just want to stay under that. Sometimes you get a puncture at 95%, sometimes at 71%. So yeah, I just want to stay under that, have absolutely no risk. But yeah, it was a little bit closer than I would have hoped in the end.
Indeed, obviously it's the first victory of the season. Are you happy to get a victory finally after, I think, 6 rounds now?
Yeah, I mean, I have scored a lot of points, but not really a victory. My first victory of 2024, actually. Got close in PHO in a few races, and then started off poorly in WR in 2024 with Mexico. But yeah, it was good to get the top step, especially in a race like this where there's safety cars. You know, it gives so much more dynamic to the race if there are safety cars. They spice things up instead of watching 36 cars drive almost in a DRS rain for 45 minutes is not really interesting as well. So it was a really good race, I think so.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people who watched it were quite excited, or were excited to see the chase from the rest of the pack towards me. So was I. So yeah.
Yeah, the chat was absolutely electric all the way through towards the end. Anyway, that's all from me. Anything from you, Chris Fiano?
I bow to your magnificence. I just blown away again. I shouldn't be, considering how long that Yeah, we've all been in this business. I shouldn't be surprised with just how well you can pull off strategies like that. Amazing stuff. Loved it as always. Well done, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us, Jarno. Right, so Chris, would you like to have a chat with Ronha quickly?
Gladly. Well, hello, Thomas. Glad for you to join us. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hello.
You had a lot to do.
Yes, I did.
Those last 5 laps. Talk us through it, because it looked chaotic from our side. But what on earth was running through your mind?
The last 5 laps actually wasn't that bad. It was the laps before that, after the pit stop, where I had to get through. I don't know how many cars. I think at least 10 to get up to P2 and have a go at Jarno towards the end. But yeah, I knew he had a ton more ERS than the rest of the field. The only possibility that could happen is for him to get a puncture, because of course, I don't know how many laps he did. I think 27 or something. And to do that on hards it's tough, but you can definitely pull it off. So I reckon the strategy was both, I would say, equal. I think the battling we had throughout the race probably hindered us a little bit to have a chance to go at Jan towards the end, because his gyros of his tires dropped off massively towards the end. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Got some good fun on track again, and yeah, GG's to the podium.
It was certainly very entertaining from our side. So we move on to a very, very different type of circuit. We move on to Spa next. What are your thoughts towards the Belgian Classic?
I don't know how long ago we did a league race there. I think it's been quite some time, so looking forward to it, definitely. Gonna be a good one, hopefully. One of my favorites, definitely, of the calendar in terms of pace. So yeah, looking forward to it. I don't know about Jake, but yeah, should be a good one.
And we look forward to it as well. Great stuff. Well done. And best of luck for next time out. Thank you very much, Thomas Ronha.
Cheers, thank you.
All right, Jake, hello. Can you hear us?
Yep. Hello.
So, P2, for you as well, it was a bit of a chaotic race, wasn't it? Talk us through kind of what happened in that whole race.
Yeah, so, well, starting off with Collie, wheel broke. But yeah, into the race, it was pretty hectic, to say the least. I got rear-ended end of lap 1, last corner. So I had to catch back up to the train, but obviously then there was a safety car, which helped me a little bit. Went on to softs just to change it up a bit, because I know I had 2 fresh sets of softs and another medium if I needed it. So went on to softs, did a pretty horrendous stint, to be honest. I only got carried by the first couple laps of having just better better tires. And then was struggling a little bit, got overtaken by hard runners, I think it was, and then just pitted for mediums. Played my cards right against the Chan and Kai Pearson, I think it was, up ahead, and then just had to pretty much 1v1 versus me, Thomas, and Ismail.
Yeah, so obviously going into the final few laps, it was obviously you 3 fighting for second, third, and fourth. Obviously, all that strategy going into play, also the safety cars and things that happened at the start. Was you thinking you could get P2, or was it not really on the cards at the start?
Well, obviously not at the start. I thought, honestly, my wheel, I thought it caught fire halfway through the race. But it had some like random like crackling or something. But yeah, no, it held up, which was good. P2, I knew was on the cards around about lap 20, 25, because I saw how fast we were catching Chan and Kai. Especially with Thomas also coming through the pack, who then I used for a bit more pace. I think he was a bit quicker than me, to be honest. So yeah, used him to regain some battery and just pull me along. Nearly had Jarno in the end, wasn't too far away, but obviously he did pretty much what he needs to do in just managing the race, so GG to him. Also, Thomas and Ismail for a really good, clean battle at the end also. So yeah, just ultimately a really fun race.
Yeah, and obviously this season, to be fair, hasn't gone too well. You only scored 10 points in the first 5 rounds. So do you think hopefully over the next half of the season you're looking to try and get yourself a little bit higher up in the standings?
Yeah, I think this has been historically my worst start to any season ever. So yeah, not ideal, but ultimately main priority is just staying sharp and just having fun with it. And if ultimately when you're having fun, the results should come as well. So yeah, hopefully. But ultimately, if I have a worse second half as I had first half, then yeah, I'm gonna be quite embarrassed. But yeah.
Well, it worked out in the end. So anyway, Jake, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bye. Right, so that is the end of the interview today. Great to speak to all of our podium sitters here today at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and well, I think they all were happy. I didn't hear any annoyed, sad faces. They was all ecstatic with that race because it was absolutely superb. And we'll pop ourselves back on the camera screen because I enjoyed it. And that has got to be, well, it'd be a bit weird to say the best race of the year because it's only 14 days in, but so far it is the best race of the year. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I think the good thing was, yes, there was a bit of contact, but you're at Brazil. It's quite a thin track. You've got cars battling 2-3 wide. You've got people behind battling as well. Everyone's going to misjudge where they're going to break. So there was a bit of contact here and there, but I think on a whole it was really clean, which I think is a great thing to see. There was no intentionally people taking each other out, all stuff like that. It was really, really clean between all drivers, and yeah, I think obviously going into Belgium, we got yet again another brilliant track. The racing's good, not as good as in here, because obviously a lot of Belgium you just trying to pull yourself along in the train, and also a lot of it is about that quality. It's quite spread out with it being very long, if not the longest track on the circuit. But Chris, I believe you have some news for us, don't you, regarding the next race?
Indeed, indeed. So there is going to be a little bit of a calendar change for next time out in Spa. It was going to be next week. But there is a last-minute calendar change. The break week is actually going to be moved from February the 4th to next week, and therefore Belgium is going to be run on the 28th of January, which then pushes Austria forward to that February the 4th slot. So next week is going to be a bit of a break week. Keep an eye on the socials. It'll all be announced there.
Indeed. So we're not going to be here next week. The week after, though, for the next 3 weeks, I think it is, or 4, we'll be here every single week for some more Tier 1 action. So that's all from us here tonight in the commentary booth. We hope you all enjoyed the race. We hope you enjoyed the qualifying session. We all hope you enjoyed the commentary. We'll be back next week for some more sorry. We'll be back the week after next. I'll keep getting used to saying it every single league. We'll be back the week after next for some more great action. Obviously, remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and also follow us over on Twitter and join the Discord if you haven't already. If you've got questions, come back tomorrow for WOR Tier 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, I believe it is. And then obviously come back on, I believe it's Thursday for the PC Tier 1 and down. Console Tier 1 and down. Then we got Friday, I think, is World. I think something like that. If not, it's somewhere in the week. You'll see it on Twitter or on Discord, all the notifications. So obviously come back to us for all those races. So we'll see you again again. So we'll see you the week after next for some more WRT1 action. Good night.